The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Stop me if you've heard this one before. The Jets had a lead in the fourth quarter and still lost. Same old Jets. Postgame show right now.
But I'm just saying here, setting the record straight. This show is about positivity and having a good time and yucking it up. I love this show. I do this shit for free.
Yeah.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate you spending time with us here on the channel. Post-game show, Jets lose. What else is new? 19-9, the final score against the Rams. I appreciate everyone tuning in to this show. I just got done with 4 hours on radio discussing this game, so why not another couple here on YouTube? Appreciate everyone, by the way, who listened to the radio show tonight. Had Rich Cimini on, and he had some interesting nuggets about the Jets, so I will do my best to talk about that conversation either later in the show or in a future video later this week. With that said, if you're watching live right now, thank you for supporting the channel. Click the like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Look, I mean, we've seen this exact game how many times? We've seen the Jets play well enough to win, only to lose how many times this year? Once again, the New York Jets' biggest issue is not the talent on the team. It's not this player. It's not that player. It's not the quarterback, even though some want to blame everything on the quarterback. The biggest issue on this team is they are the worst coach team I've ever watched. Point blank. Jeff Ulbrich is the worst coach this franchise has ever had. With the caveat being he's not the actual head coach. He's just the intern. But seriously, if you gave Adam Gase this talent, he'd have more wins. That's how bad it is. You gave Adam Gase this talent, they would have more wins. I'm dead serious. I didn't think I'd be saying that. But that's how bad it is. This coach is inept. And we all got to throw the caveat, oh, he's a nice guy or he was in a tough spot. I don't care anymore. I don't. He's got to go. Everyone on this coaching staff, they got to go. And thank God there's only 2 games to go. I mean, they're about as poorly coached team as I've ever seen. And it's not just today. It's all season. They were poorly coached with Saleh. They don't have a coach with Ulbrich. I mean, last week they got a gift that they played Mac Jones. That's the only reason why they won. Because the way they handled the clock at the end of regulation last week was embarrassing. Today, some of the decisions to go for it on 4th down made no sense. If you are going to go for it on 4th and 1 from your own 35-yard line, I don't know. Maybe instead of handing the ball up the middle to Breece Hall, who has shown you he is not a great short yardage back, maybe we give the football to our 6'2", 240-pound running back. Just an idea. Which one of these grown men do you believe gives you the best chance to pick up the first down in short yardage? The guy who looks like the Hulk or Breece Hall? And this has been a problem all year. Go back to the Denver Broncos game. We had the criticism of the usage in short yardage. They've had issues with timeouts all year. How about the end of the first half? You got 3 timeouts in your pocket, and this head coach is like, I'm good. We'll take the delay of game instead. Got lucky that Breece bailed them out on the next play. How about the fact that at the end of this game, Jeff Ulbrich completely froze up when it came down to deciding whether or not the New York Jets we're going to go out there and either kick a field goal or go for it on 4th and 4. Instead, no one knows what they're doing. The Jets line up, and Max Mitchell, because of course, Max Mitchell has to play, because the one bright spot this year, Olu Fashanu, gets taken out of the game on a cart. He then false starts. So then the Jets kick anyway, now from 5 yards further back, and Anders Carlson did his best Greg Zuerlein impression today by shanking a field goal, and he already had missed an extra point. I mean, I screamed and yelled at about this game earlier on the radio. I don't have it in me right now. I'm exhausted talking about this team. I just am. I mean, it's the same crap. They can't win because they are incompetently coached. Sean McVay versus Jeff Ulbrich today is probably the most significant coaching mismatch you'll have in the NFL this year. The only reason why the Jets have 4 wins is because they have talent, not because they have any coaching. Their talent won them 2 games on Thursday night when the other team has no time to prepare because it's a short week. Their talent won them the game against Jacksonville last week because the coaching did everything in their power to try and lose that football game. This team has talent to be a competent football team. They have enough talent to be the same exact team the Rams are right now. If Sean McVay is coaching the Jets, they're 9-6 right now, not 4-11. Mike Tomlin's coaching the Jets. It's the same thing. Harbaugh, same thing. Today's just another reminder that if Woody Johnson is serious about fixing this football team once and for all, he better hire the right general manager and head coach. Mike Vrabel's on the record saying he wants this job. He would take this job if the right GM were in place. That's the guy, Woody. Don't screw it up. This team needs a real coach and coaching staff because I can't take it anymore. I really can't. God bless any Jet fan who went to this game today. Somehow I was able to give away 17 tickets to fans who wanted to go. This fan base still cares. But there's going to be apathy setting in real soon if this continues. They've done already irreparable damage, I believe, to this fan base with this year and how last year went. If Woody Johnson is serious about fixing this, you better get Mike Vrabel and make him the head coach and find out what GM he wants to work with. Because this today was just a joke. I mean, only the Jets could have a game where they didn't punt the entire game. Thomas Morstead had the day off, and they scored 9 points. As I'm watching this game, I'm thinking, I wonder if that has ever happened in the history of the NFL. It's happened twice now since 1940. The Jets became the second team since 1940 to not punt in a game and score less than 10 points. You cannot make it up. They invent ways to lose. I mean, they actually had an interception in this game on defense. They should have had 2 if Isaiah Oliver didn't lose the ball early. That could have been a pick 6. They had an opportunity to really take a stranglehold of this game early. They moved the ball in all 3 of their possessions. It was a weird half. It flew by. But that drop by Adams in the end zone was huge. And then the fumble by Rodgers. That was brutal. Holding onto the ball way too long. It's just, it never ends, man. When they need a big play, they can never get it. Every offensive lineman today committed a penalty that played in the game, including Max Mitchell, as we all watched that debacle on the 4th and 4 at the end of the game. It's just, I have never seen a team that is this poorly coached. It's unreal. They just, I mean, invent ways to lose. As the Buffalo Jet fan said, every game the Jets find themselves having to make routine situational decisions, and then they act as if it's unprecedented NFL circumstances they're dealing with. I mean, this team was up 9-6 at halftime. They went on a 9-minute drive to start the second half, and they somehow lost 19-9. You can't make it up. 6 lost this year where they entered the fourth quarter with a lead. Most in the NFL. That's coaching. 7 games this season this team has lost by 6 points or fewer. That doesn't even count today. Today should have been another one of those examples. The final score should not have been 19-9. It should have been 19-12. The Jets had any clue. Or maybe they go for it, end up scoring a touchdown, and who knows? 19-9. 19-9, and the offense had a 99-yard, 14-play drive to start the day, and they finished with 9 points. It's impossible to do what the Jets do to us. It is impossible for any other franchise in professional sports to torture its fans like this franchise does to us. And if Woody Johnson wants it to stop, you hire a real head coach and general manager. It is enough. I'm sick and tired of first-timers who come in here and are overwhelmed by the media, by the fans, and it eats them alive. When adversity strikes, they can't handle it. And there's no better example of that than this previous regime. When adversity strikes, they fold. Rodgers goes down 4 plays in. Joe Douglas sits there and does nothing. Robert Saleh gets fired 5 games in. Joe Douglas is like, I don't need a kicker. I'm just going to let the season go up in flames. I'm good. I mean, anytime this team faces any adversity, they whine, they mope, they make excuses, and they lose. And I don't want to hear from this head coach, who's a head coach for 2 more games, that, oh, they played hard today. It's such a joke. Woody Johnson. If you do not hire people with experience, it's not going to work. It's going to fail again. Leon Hess finally got serious in 1997 and hired Bill Parcells. Woody Johnson, you got to hire Mike Vrabel. Other teams are going to want him. Not every team can make him an offer you can make him. You want to win? Hire a real coach. Leon Hess finally figured it out. Not too late. 6 seconds of audio I'm about to play. I can't stand the guy who said it, but I'll take him at face value that this conversation actually happened.
I talked to Mike Vrabel. Mike said, he said, I would take the Jets job. I just don't know who the GM would be. I'd have to like the GM.
Mike, who do you want the GM to be? I'm done messing around. Don't give me Arthur Smith. Don't give me Matt Nagy. Don't give me any of these other guys, and then the Jets try and spin it. Well, they have previous coaching experience, and they're offensive-minded. That's BS. There's 2 names for this job. 2. Mike Vrabel or Brian Flores. And if Vrabel wants the job, he's clearly the number 1 guy. Find me the guy with that resume of winning 9 or more games in 4 of their 6 seasons. Find me the guy that went to an AFC championship game with Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback. Won 2 division titles. Beat Brady and Belichick in their building in their last game together. And that guy says he'd coach this team. You get him. I'm sick of losing, man. I'm sick of this bullshit. And I'm going to curse because I'm tired of it, and I couldn't do it for 4 hours on the radio. I am sick of this nonsense, man. I mean, I've seen bad Jets teams. This team's bad because of how poorly they are coached. They got talent here. They do. Rodgers wasn't great today, but yet it's another game where it's like, I mean, what are we doing? Lead the NFL in drops. Nice job today, Lazard. Great job by Devontae in the end zone. Yeboah with a brutal drop. It's killer, man, to watch. It destroys you. The penalties today. I mean, how does Keith Carter have a job? You want a medal, Woody? Get rid of the offensive line coach. I mean, these penalties they're taking, they don't know how to line up. They don't know that you can't go downfield on a screenplay. Forget the lack of a running game. I mean, that's a lost cause. You know who the running game coordinator is? Oh, it's the same guy who's the offensive line coach, Keith Carter. Great. Oh, my God. I didn't think I was going to be able to yell, but still, I care too much. It's disgusting. I mean, Keith Carter still being the offensive line coach here. It's just such a joke. 4th and 1. Let's run Brees Hall up the middle, not Braylon Allen, who's 6'2", 240 pounds of sheer muscle. It's just everything bothers me, man. All of it. I mean, the Rams are 9-6. Look at their roster. Now look at the Jet roster. It's all coaching. And the Jets better not try and sell me on, this first-time coach that's going to come in and be a G. I don't want it, man. I don't want to go through it. I'm not saying you can't ever hire a first-time coach again or a first-time GM, but we can't mess around. They haven't made the playoffs since 2010. 2010. They have not had a winning season in a decade. 2015. You cannot mess around and hire guys that have no experience. You can't. Aaron Glenn, I love you as a player. In a different world, you'd make sense for the Jets. Not right now. Liam Cohen. Oh, the great Liam Cohen, offensive genius. I can't take the risk. Give me the guy in Mike Vrabel who's hired 2 offensive coordinators who then became head coaches. That's the guy they need. All right, this team will not win if they can't get the coaching hire right. And before we get to Rodgers and his future and any of that, get the GM and coach here and let them decide so everyone's on the same page. That's what a good organization would do. So what are the Jets going to do? Should we have any confidence they're going to make the right decision? Prove it to us. James Dolan is not he's not this great owner now. He finally hired Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau, stayed out of the way. That's what we need Woody to do. And you got a guy who's on the record saying he'd take your job. And he happens to be the most qualified candidate available. Now, the other thing I want to mention here is I did speak with Rich Samiti tonight on the radio show. He's reporting that Olu Fashinu's injury is not an Achilles injury. It's a foot injury, but not the Achilles. It could be a serious injury, but if it's an Achilles injury, he's probably done all next year, which would suck because we just can't have nice things as Jet fans if that were to happen. The one bright spot's done for the year. So thankfully, it feels like Olu maybe avoided that, but we don't know what the injury is just yet. But, I mean, the pass protection today was good again. Rodgers had plenty of time. Just the drops hurt them. The penalties hurt them. Obviously, the one fumble Rodgers had was a big moment. It's just, I can't, man. And the inability to get Garrett Wilson the football until there's a couple minutes left in the game when they're in throw mode every play is insane. And that's why, as much as you can convince me on bringing Aaron Rodgers back being the right move, it's only the right move if you're running a real modern offense, not this archaic offense they run now. I mean, how is Garrett Wilson targeted 3 times until the last 3 minutes of the game today? And you could tell he is just pissed. He's frustrated. He might request a trade. That doesn't mean they have to trade him. You got to hire a real coach that could go to Garrett Wilson and say, we know how good you are, and we're going to make sure that you are heavily featured in what we're doing here. That's what a Mike Vrabel could do, by the way. But I can't do this anymore, man. I can't watch this team lose the same way over and over again. And it's so obvious what the problems are. You could fix the kicking situation. You could add some talent to the defensive line room, which, by the way, hey, shout out to Hassan Reddick. Congrats on being one of the biggest morons in the history of any professional athlete ever. Hassan Reddick today had less tackles than Kenny Yeboah. Give it up to Hassan, baby. Tremendous job. Thank you, Joe Douglas. You did a great job not re-signing Huff. You did a great job not bringing in Clowney when he was in the building. You had to trade for Reddick, even though everyone knew he wanted the contract. Thank you, Joe. Tremendous. We did it, Joe. Hassan Reddick had 1 pass defense today, and that was it. In 8 games, he's got 9 total tackles, and he's got a half a sack. And this guy wanted to be paid like TJ Watt and Myles Garrett. Kiss my ass, Hassan, please. Oh, my God, do I hate this team. I really do. I've lost it, man. I can't. 2 games to go. Hire a real goddamn coach. You got Thomas Dimitroff, who was in New England when Vrabel was a player. Qualified guy. Basically should have a Super Bowl ring on his finger if it wasn't for the biggest choke job in NFL history, 28-3. Get him, put him in with Vrabel, and let's go. I can't do it anymore, man. Go to Vrabel, find out who he'd work with, and get it done. Because this is just a joke. A joke. Like, to sit here and be 4-11 when the Jets have gone out there this season and have had the lead in the fourth quarter 6 times in these losses here. It's astonishing. The Jets have lost 11 games this year. In 6 of them, they had a lead in the fourth quarter. They've lost 7 games this season by 6 points or fewer. You can't make it up. You can't. I'm done. I'm done. I'm tired of it. And every Jet fan is too. And if Woody, you want to fix this, you know what you need to do. Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel. Find me a coach who's got a better resume that is available that for whatever reason would take this job than that guy. You can't. Because that guy doesn't exist. Unfortunately, I can't get Andy Reid to coach the Jets next year. I can't get Sean McVay to coach the Jets next year. But I could get a guy that in 6 years has won 9 or more games in 4 of them, including a trip to an AFC championship game, including a year where he was the number 1 seed in the AFC when Derrick Henry only played in 8 games that year. That's the guy. Don't overcomplicate it. Get him. I don't want to hear anything else. If you're watching live right now, God bless you. I love this fan base. You all deserve better. And I appreciate you hanging out late night watching this show. Click the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Your call's coming up. Tonight's the last night to get a chance to be in on our big raffle. Every membership you gift or if you become a channel member, your name will be added to the Bucket of Champions. We're giving away a signed Curtis Martin trading card and a collection of other Jets cards, a $50 gift card to Copper John's Beard Company, items from the Jake Asman merch store, your own Gus Buster umbrella, and much more. We're going to do a mega raffle probably tomorrow. So if you gift a membership, every membership you gift, you get a lottery ticket with your name on it. Let me give a huge shout out here to True, who became a channel member, Chris J, who's gifted not 1, but 2 memberships. That's 3 raffle tickets and counting so far. All right. Super Chats always cut the line. Curvin starts us off here. Rodgers force-feeding Adams instead of Wilson. Yeah, I think that was a real problem today. It was all about, let me get Devontae the touchdown for my 500 touchdown pass and not, I don't know, running the offense. How do you not look at Garrett more, man? I thought that was a bad job by Rodgers today and just the coaching staff too. Get Garrett involved. But I mean, expect this staff to be awful because they are. When someone shows you this many times who they are, believe them. Jeff Ulbrich is one of the worst coaches that has ever coached in the NFL as far as being a head coach. I mean, he is inept. And I'm not sitting here saying Robert Saleh was a great coach, but I think a lot of us need to think back and realize just how involved Robert Saleh was with his defense. J-Mag's in the house. This team has no coach, no GM, no stadium, no business having the loyalty of this fan base. Sick and tired of it. Get the right people, Woody. Yeah, wake up, Woody. Let's go. There's one coach they could hire that will get this fan base to at least believe they got the right coach. He has said he would coach your team. Get him. I don't want to hear any. If the Jets hire Arthur Smith and they try and sell, well, he's an offensive guy with experience, that might be it for me. If they hire Matt Nagy and try and say he's an offensive guy with experience, that might be it for me. I can't do it. If they hire Aaron Glenn, who I loved as a Jet, I can't do it. I can't. Will I root for the team and give the new regime every chance to be good? Sure. But that would be a mistake. Mistake. It'd be a mistake to hire someone who's never been a coach before. And it'd be a mistake to hire a coach that doesn't have the resume that Mike Vrabel has. Period. Gator with a super chat. Relax. Yulbrick said he was going to look at the tape and see what happened. Hope that the masking tapes he used on boxes to clear out his office. I mean, it's such a joke, man. I mean, he froze up at the end of the game today. And you saw Rodgers looking at him like, are we kicking the field? Like, Anders Carlson ran out to kick the field goal. And then Rodgers like, what are we doing? And at that point, you have 3 timeouts. The move is, And look, maybe Woody wasn't crazy for referencing Madden, if true. Because if anyone who's ever played Madden would know you take a timeout and then you decide, hey, am I going to kick or are we going to go for it? And they've gone for it all goddamn day long. So maybe they should still, you guessed it, go for it. I mean, what are we talking about? Oh, it's such BS what happened there, man. Disgusting. You've gone for it on fourth down the whole game. Now there's indecision. Now we don't know what we're doing. You just go for it. You've been doing it all game. Or you kick the field goal. But that's got to be discussed. It's like, why do I care so much? I can't. Leany writes in, I have such agita for who will be hired as GM and coach. Please, football gods, have pity on us fans. We deserve better. I pray to Mike Tannenbaum, Rick Spielman, whoever could get in the ear of Woody Johnson to not fuck this up. Sorry. It's after 8:30. I can't. You have to get proven people in here. Rich Samini said tonight on my radio show that the Jets are trying to identify guys with experience. That's their preference. Good. But I don't need Arthur Smith as his team's head coach. I don't need John Robinson as the GM. Rich said, well, Arthur Smith and John Robinson, they worked together in Tennessee. Kill me if that's what they end up doing. I said, Rich, there's going to be planes over MetLife from Jet fans if that's what they end up doing. He's like, I'm not saying they're hiring them. He's just like, I'm just trying to, put out some ideas on what I've heard, some names mentioned. Kill me if it's John Robinson and Arthur Smith. I want that on the record now. Curly writes in, all over the NFL, I see offenses have designed pass plays for their running backs. Why the F does this franchise not know how to design plays? We have Brees. I mean, Brees Hall has yet to have a game this year where he's had the ball for 20 carries. Not one. And look, some of that I'm sure is Rodgers checking out of it at the line of scrimmage, but also some of it is the scheme sucks. They can't run the ball effectively. I mean, Keith Carter is your run game coordinator. Tells you all you need to know. Michael with a super chat. Did the offensive line get the cycle? If you played offensive line for the Jets today, congrats, you committed the penalty. 5 starters and Max Mitchell. Altoona writes in, Dimitroff and Vrabel. Make it happen, Jake. I will have tears of joy if you told me it's Thomas Dimitroff and Mike Vrabel. Oh, my God. All right. I'll kiss Woody Johnson on his forehead for the rest of his life if that's what he ends up getting here. Verdin with 1 membership gifted. Thank you. Or is it actually it's Verdine? Verdine Frederick. Verdine, thank you. Raffle ticket with your name on it. Craig down in Australia. Let me tell you, Craig was a big hit on the ESPN New York show tonight. He called in from down under. Craig, I mean, I couldn't believe it when I heard your voice.
I can't even believe it. Thank you, John. I can't even believe it.
5 memberships gifted by Craig. If you got one, thank him. Gator says, any thoughts on the turf taking another player? I mean, we all know how big of a joke it is that the Jets and Giants can't figure out how to get grass on the stadium. But you know what I noticed again today? How bad MetLife has been for kickers all season. Not just the Jets. The Rams missed a field goal today, too. I know the Giants' kicking situation's been bad. MetLife just sucks. Unbelievable. Hit the like button if you're tuning in. Mad Team Parents has just gifted a membership, another raffle ticket. It's coming through. Let me shout out our post-game sponsors before we get to your calls. I'm going to be drinking some bourbon after this. Custom Bourbon Tours. Look, you're a Jet fan. You're pissed. I'm pissed. You might need a vacation after the year. Head down to the Kentucky Bourbon Trail and book a vacation with CustomBourbonTours.com. They're the best at what they do. They've sponsored the post-game show all season long. The Custom Bourbon Tours mantra is this. You go to their website, and you could book an experience on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail in about 5 minutes. You pick the distilleries you want to visit, the vehicle you want to travel in, and they offer flexible, zero-interest payment plans so you can set up your private group outing in 5 minutes or less. It's that easy. Check it out, CustomBourbonTours.com. They're the best at what they do. And also, Liam, the founder of the company, native New Yorker, huge Jet fan. He'll take good care of you. CustomBourbonTours.com. Some memberships are flying in. Ladies and gentlemen, Mad Team 3 parents, Leany, John, Florida, all gifting channel memberships here. Raffle tickets galore, baby. NY Jets Florida says, still need some big fatties on the defensive line. That you could find in the offseason. You could fix the defense with the right coach, the right scheme. You can't fix the culture of losing without getting the coaching hire right. Like, we could break down this game. I gave you some thoughts on some of the things that happened. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is, can they get a real coach here? Because you can't tell me, you look at where the Jets are right now in the tankathon standings, and the Jets don't have better rosters than all these teams that they're right in the same conversation with. Talent-wise, way more talent than the Raiders, the Browns, the Titans, the Jaguars, New England. It's a joke that the Jets are this close to these teams. It's a joke. Get the coach right, man. That's all that matters. Shadowburn, worst season by far. Fan since 99. It's the worst season I've ever seen in my lifetime. Given the expectations and just the way they've lost and how they've continued to lose these games, I don't think it will ever be worse. Your call's coming up. We're sponsored by Joe DeVizio and his team at Joe DeVizio Realty. 959 call Joe. Look, holidays are here. After the holidays, if you're selling your home, you better call Joe. Him and his team are the best at what they do. If you're in the tri-state area, they can do everything for your home. They can help you sell your home. They can help you evaluate how much your home is actually worth. They can walk you through the steps if your home needs repairs, if you're dealing with squatters, a bad tenant. They do it all, and they'll get you top dollar in any market, anywhere in the area. Once again, the website for Joe is in my description box. You see it up there on the screen, or you can give his office a call at 959. Call Joe and get ready to cash out. Thank you to Joe and his team again for sponsoring the postgame all season long. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, time to go to the phones. Let's say hello first up to a guy who wanted to go to this game today. I gifted him 2 tickets to go, courtesy of a fellow Jet season ticket holder who donated them to the cause. The Hamburger is up first. Hamburger, do you regret going to this game today?
MetLife Stadium, where dreams go to die.
Unreal.
Let me tell you, man. First, it was, I left 25 minutes to get to the stadium. And when I got outside this morning to go load my car, I went, it's cold. I was like, this is going to be tough. We got there and parking lot was pretty empty for most of the time. But we got in there, froze our asses off, and we got blessed with what we seen today. Jake, I don't know why you get so mad at this point. It's not worth to get yourself all worked up about a team.
Because you want to know why, honestly? Because they better fix it. Because I'm so aggravated with this season. Because it's like they actually have talent to be a good team, and we're just wasting it. And I don't want Garrett gone. I don't want Brees gone. I don't want all these guys requesting trades and being on. I want to win, man. And we waited so long to have actual players that are good, and we still can't win. So it drives me crazy. And before it's all gone to what, I'd like to hire a real coach that could win with this team.
Yeah, listen, man, I get it. Trust me, I get it. I can't let myself get like that right now again, over and over. I got all like that up until the Steelers game, but for health reasons on my own, I gotta just let it go, let it die where it dies. But listen, man, this is the worst coaching staff I've ever seen in my entire life. The play calling today was atrocious. It was just bad. Drop passes, penalties by every single person on the offensive line. And our backups, listen, man, Albrecht, he was lost today. My 11-year-old son looked at me today and was like, why didn't he call a timeout, Dad? We have 3 timeouts before halftime. He doesn't know hardly anything about football. And he's like, why did he not call a timeout? I was mortified at that point. It's just this, I don't know, man. I don't think Albrecht gets a job anywhere else. I think most of the coaching staff doesn't get any jobs anywhere for a while.
They shouldn't. They honestly shouldn't. Robert Saleh wasn't a great coach, but this fan base owes him an apology. I told you, and I said this on the show, that he was way more involved with the defense than people realize. I could tell it now because everyone's gone who told me this. Robert Saleh took over the defensive play calling after the Bengal loss in 2022. That's why the defense improved that year. He took away play calling responsibilities from Jeff Ulbrich. So when a lot of you were like, why do you defend Saleh so much for the defense? It's over. I'm like, no, it wasn't Ulbrich. And now we're seeing that. It was Robert Saleh. He took over the play calling after the Bengal game. Remember the incident with Quinnen and Aaron Whitecotton?
Yeah.
And the whole that's when Saleh took over play calling for the defense. He never gave it up after that, at least to my knowledge. And look how different it's been since he's been fired.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that, because didn't Woody come out and say, oh, I didn't really like Ulbrich, and then all of a sudden, Ulbrich is a great coach when he wants to get rid of Saleh? Like, I think they all knew that Ulbrich was going to be terrible. I think Woody knew it, and he just had to put that out there just to say, like, oh, no, he's going to be all right. I think Woody actually thought Ulbrich would provide a spark like it's baseball and you fire the manager or something like that. And, like, it clearly has backfired. And, I mean, it is exposed all the deficiencies with the rest of the staff, because it's still Saleh's staff. It's not very good. I mean, Keith Carter having a job is a joke. And one thing I didn't notice today, no fireman Ed, not once.
Nope.
Like, not once on the screen.
And Ed was there. Ed posted about it. I was talking to him about it. So now the Jets are going out of their way to not show their most famous fan who gets the energy in the building on their screen in back-to-back games. And I heard the building was dead today without him, too.
It was. Jetman was right by us. I know, right? Ed was right across. I could see fireman Ed across the way. Nothing. Like, didn't put him on the screen, not one time. I think the Jetman and them, they got up in the first part of the game. I think that was maybe one time the whole entire game. We didn't hear JETS hardly at all. It was terrible. It was bad. So I hope Woody hears this, from the fans to you, Woody. Get your shit in gear, bro. Like, get your act together, get us Vrabel, get us a competent coach that knows what the hell they're doing, that's done it before. Listen, if I won't watch games next year if we're having some shit ass head coach that's never done it before. I'm not doing it anymore, man. I'm tired. I'm tired. Listen, I hate the losing too, man, but I just don't get yourself all bunched up, bro. Trust me, it's not good for your health. We suck. It is what it is. We're not going to win any more games. And it's unless some miracle comes out. Look, New England almost beat Buffalo today. I mean, but whatever.
There's one game left that they might be able to win, Hamburger, and that's the last game.
Miami.
Against Miami. They'll be playing for nothing, and it's the cold weather where Tua stinks. So they got to change.
Yeah, you got a point on that. Well, listen, hopefully Aaron plays a little better. He was terrible today. He wasn't terrible, but he made some bad throws, and he made some poor decisions, and his receivers didn't help him either. So. But there's other callers waiting to get on. Guys, talk to you soon. Enjoy, Jake. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the ticket.
Absolutely, Hamburger. I'm glad you can go with your kid. I mean, at least you have those memories. Michael Gonzalez wants a raffle ticket. Michael, thank you very much. All right, more of your calls coming up, but let me address a comment here of course, it's this guy making the comment. Alan writes in, Garrett is so gone, and honestly, I don't blame him. There's nothing you would love more, Alan, than for Garrett Wilson to request a trade and be traded. I mean, you would need to see a doctor because something in your pants would be lasting for like 27 straight hours. I mean, just shut up. Garrett Wilson could be frustrated. He could be pissed. He could request a trade even. I'm still not trading him. If he requests a trade and you trade him, you know what type of message that sends? He's under contract for next year and the following year, and I have the franchise tag. I'm not trading him. I'm offering him an extension. I'm keeping him. The damage it would do to trade this guy when he's probably the most beloved player on the team by the fan base, either him or Sauce, would be insane. But there's nothing you'd love more, Alan, than Garrett Wilson being traded. Oh, would that excite you? Oh, that'd be the greatest moment of your life. I mean, give me a break. Altoona writes in. Anonymous sources tell me Woody's teenage sons are watching this live stream and taking copious notes. Well, good. Hey, Brick, you ready for this? I got 2 words for you. Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel. That's it. We don't need to check his Madden rating. All right? Mike Vrabel. And the Madden thing is bullshit, by the way, as I said. But, notice, now there's been 3 other reporters who have said it's not true. Mike Garafolo, Josina Anderson, Brian Costello. But the damage has already been done. So, media in 2024 for you. But once again, Brick, if you're watching, Woody, Chris, Mike, Vrabel. All right? That easy. One more time. Mike, Vrabel. And then I'll be bricked up.
Let's get bricked up.
That's it. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I saw a couple comments asking about my hat. JakeAsman.com is where you can get this hat and every hat in our merch store. Appreciate everyone who supports the show. Let's get to more of your calls now, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, the great Kyle Clifton is next. Hey, Kyle. You're on mute, Kyle.
I have a few Guinnesses in me, but I'm not going to be ranting and raving, I don't think. I think I'm disillusioned is how I feel after today. Like, if you looked at the first half of today, I thought Rodgers played very, very well. I think he had 75% completion rate, maybe 150 yards, a touchdown going into the half. I was buoyed by it. I was like, this is going to be the guy. We're going to go into next year with a ton of momentum, and we're going to come in with a new coaching staff and be able to ride a crest and maybe right the ship a little bit. Now I don't know what to think after the second half. And I'll admit, I wasn't paying strict attention to it because we're out of it. I was out with family. We went out to a bar. We were watching a couple of different other things. And it was, you turn away from the screen and all of a sudden, the Rams are scoring a touchdown, and then they're adding on a little bit. And you see that, we're making an ill-advised decision to go and not take the points on 4th and 4. I was getting really a little bit, even though I wasn't paying strict attention, out of the corner of my eye, I was getting really frustrated by it. If there is anything to the whole idea that Rodgers is favoring Adams and, trying to get him the 500 touchdown, what is Ulbrich doing? Not grabbing him by the lapel and saying, "Listen, we have games to win here. We have business to take care of. We have to keep these kids developing and advance the program here. We can't have that personal BS going on." I think that the coaching or lack thereof is really inhibiting our ability to objectively evaluate what's happening on the field. I think that Rodgers has a lot of talent, but the question really has become now, is he the guy for us next year to kind of bridge the program? I don't know that it is. There's no way that second half should not have been competitive, and it really wasn't. We had the good first drive, and then everything went sideways because of the coaching, because of possibly personal agendas, because of nonsense. Apparently, Garrett not getting the ball, what injuries. I'm beside myself. As frustrated as I've ever been. This is the worst season I can ever remember, and I go way, way back to the early 80s.
It's horrible, and that's why I'm so angry, because it's fix it right now. You have good players on this team under contract. Don't waste it. Get a real coach in here. Run a real offense. And look, if Rodgers is not on board with running a modern offense, he's got to go. He's going to be 42 at the end of next year. He could go. It's not worth keeping him if he'd give you a hardline stance on learning a modern offense. And honestly, he'd have to take a pay cut. And if you're going to keep Devontae, the selling point to Rodgers is he takes less so Devontae could get his money. And then you bring in a real coach with a real offensive coordinator, run a real offense, and try and go out there and compete next year. And you still draft the quarterback behind Rodgers regardless where you end up in the draft this year.
No, it's not worth keeping Rodgers and Devontae if the only thing that they're going to give us is a couple of memories in the memory bank of a pretty touchdown in the first half. We need more than that. We need to take points away from these sustained drives. We need to have these kids believing that they're going out and bleeding and furthering the program for a reason. Like that there's going to be wins. There's gold at the end of the rainbow, and I don't think that they see that right now. Thanks, Jake. I appreciate your time.
Before you go, Kyle, Nate brings up an interesting point here. Are you trying to channel your inner Rose from Titanic? You're going full draw me like one of your French girls pose?
Here, far, wherever you are, you know that my heart will always go on for you guys maniacs. I'll talk to you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Kyle Clifton, check it in. That was well played. On both sides there. Good comment by Nate. Good response there by Kyle. Respect. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel. There's 2 games left. Bendigo at 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. It's going to be a rip roar, as he would say, a rip roaring time. I gave Joe 2 tickets to the game today. So we'll find out how that went. It was Joe and the great Tommy Keenan who went to the Jet game today. Ladies and gentlemen, Super Chats continue to cut the line here. We're seeking channel memberships. If you gift a membership or become a channel member, you're in the raffle. Grand prize is the autographed Curtis Martin card. I also have the 1970 Topps Joe Namath card. An assortment of other cards, plus the Copper Johns gift card, Gus Buster umbrella, and an item from the merch store. So we got a mega raffle coming up. Most likely tomorrow, if not Tuesday. NYJ with a super chat. At least with Mike Vrabel, we won't have to see fumbling challenge flags, bad use of timeouts, and not knowing when to call timeouts. I'm so sick. Yeah, I just Ober today. I mean, it's unreal, man. Also, they won last week. Last week's decision with Brees at the goal line was even worse than anything he did today. They just got away with it because they played Mac Jones. As we saw the Raiders actually win a game today. That's how bad Mac Jones and the Jaguars are. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we say hello to Lee, who's next. Hello, Lee.
Thanks for taking my call, Jake.
What's up, Lee?
Yeah, I was watching the game, and these Rams, they got rookies all over the defense, man. These guys are in the playoffs every year, and
they were 1-4. And McVay changed whatever they were doing at the bye week, and he's a great coach. And it just shows you have a coach and quarterback. I don't care what your roster looks like. You have a chance in today's NFL.
And so, where are rookies? where are they?
Well, one of them was having an awesome rookie year, and then he got carted off the field because we can't have nice things.
The Joe Douglas special gets the first rounder right, but then Corley, Allen, Davis, Oliver. It's crazy. We have 33 minutes time possession and 20 runs all game. Kyron Williams had more runs than all of us. Aaron Rodgers had more rushing yards than Braylon Allen.
I know. Look, here's the thing with the Jets' current rookie class. I mean, Olu looks like a good pick. Now we got to wait to see how serious his foot injury is. You look at the second round. I mean, they obviously didn't have one. They traded up for Corley, who was basically a late second round pick. Or he was the first pick of the third round, but they tried to trade up to the 50s to get him in round 2. And he can't get on the field. At least he was active today, but he can't get on the field. So we have no idea what he is. And I like Braylon Allen, but they don't use him properly. Isaiah Davis is flash, but he doesn't get a lot of opportunity. And you really didn't have much else after that. But here's the thing. It's not even just this draft class, Lee. You go back and look at Joe Douglas's tenure, and he got some of the first rounders right. But other than really Michael Carter, what pick did Joe Douglas hit on that's a really good to elite football player that wasn't in the top 45? It's like when you're picking in the top 10 and you have the amount of picks they had, you're supposed to be good in those rounds. Like the really good GMs are able to find other guys after the top 45, and that's where the Jets have obviously struggled.
They never play. The guy outside the first round, we don't know if they suck because we never see them play. It's just Alan Lazard, 3 drops. You're telling me Alan Lazard, 5 targets, 20 yards. They don't think that Corley can do that.
I mean, Lazard he's got 8 drops this year on 50-something targets. It's horrendous.
We're going to lose probably by 4 touchdowns next weekend.
I mean, look, if the Jets are in the game in the 4th, I guess I'd be surprised. But the Patriots were in the game in the 4th today against Buffalo, so you never know. It's still the NFL.
Just bad, man.
Right.
Why what could Woody tell a Jets fan next week to make him want to watch the game besides like the people the hardcores that watch? Like what can make a casual Jets fan or a Jets fan like literally just want to sit there and watch the game?
Nothing. There's nothing.
Rookies don't play. Like
no.
What are you watching for?
You can watch Aaron Rodgers throw his 500th career touchdown pass. I guess. Like it's just there's nothing, man. There's nothing he could say to make you care about these last two. What he can say is, we're going to get this right and hire a real head coach because I'm sick of losing. Like, go full Leon Hess and get Mike Vrabel. Let's go.
Yeah. Last thing I'm going to say, I got you on those tickets in a couple weeks. I had them taken up. I know I emailed you a couple weeks ago, but hopefully you can find a couple people to go. They're all the way up in the nosebleeds, but I'll get you a couple tickets for any of your listeners that want to have a good time.
Lee, I appreciate it, man. Thank you, and to everyone who has reached out with tickets. I think when I said it earlier, what did I say? 17 tickets I gave away to the game today. So some people went, took a kid. Someone took their dad to his first Jet game in like 20 years. So those stories are cool. At least someone's using the tickets. I'm seeing some comments here about Xavier Gibson. Xavier Gibson, what are we doing with him still being the returner? What a joke. Corley can't do that. I didn't even mention that yet. I didn't even mention that on the radio today. I probably should have, but it's so, Xavier Gibson's on the team next year. This coaching staff is just, they're an abomination. Neil is up next. Hello, Neil.
Jake.
Neil.
Wow. If you didn't go to the game and you didn't listen to the game, and I said we had the following happen today.
Did you go today, by the way?
Somebody bought my 4 tickets for $100 a piece. I went to the thing next door. What is that again? The American
the Dream Mall.
The Yard House is really cool at that American Dream. My side of the family met up with us to have a lunch. 20 of us. We all hand out gifts. I had a view of a ski slope in the American Dream coming down. People skiing down a hill. I'm looking out, and we have all the TVs on with the Jet game. And I was going to go, but not one of the 20 people that were there wanted to go as of yesterday. So I decided to sell the tickets. I'm glad I did, because I would have got pneumonia to add on top of everything else that I've had to endure this year with this horrible season. But back to this. So, Jake, guess what? You were in the darkness. You came out. Neil, what happened today? Well, we started the game with a 99-yard drive after we stopped the Rams on their opening drive. It was the first time we had a 99-yard drive since 2002, I think it was, or maybe 2006. One other time ever happened before. And guess what else? What? We didn't punt the ball the entire game. Rodgers had 250 yards. He was efficient. He had a 95 rating. He had a guy, but wait a minute. We had 5 drop balls. Now let me get to the bad part. We had 5, and wait a minute. Matthew Stafford threw for 110 yards. So all those things, if I told you, and then I ended up telling you we lost 19-9, you would think I was nuts. It's just like impossible. It's like you can't even make it up.
That's what they do.
Like
That's what they do. They didn't punt in a game today, and they only scored 9 points. Like
I didn't realize they didn't punt until you said that. I was like, yes, because I watched the game. I'm like, holy shit! They
dominated the time of possession. I mean, they
didn't dominate. We had less time of possession than the Rams.
I don't know about that one.
5 minutes less than the Rams did, because don't forget, they ate the clock. I saw the stats. They had the ball for 32 minutes. We had it for 28. We lost the time of possession.
You have it reversed. You have a reverse. The Jets had the ball for 32 minutes. The Rams had it for 27:55. Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I'm saying. That's how big of a joke this is that they lost. They dominated time of possession. They had a 9-minute drive to start the second half that came away with no points. and they got shut out in the second half. They finished with 9. It's unfathomable how bad this team is.
Well, for people who are saying how, Rodgers didn't have a good game, I mean, when you got 4 drops, but let me ask you this. That play
I thought Rodgers was okay today. I didn't think he was great. He was very good in the first half, and then there was not much in the second half, and that turnover he had was a big turnover.
But wait a minute. That's another thing. He drops the ball. There's 3 Jets and 1 Ram. And the offensive linemen are playing hot potato, and the Ram decides to fall on the ball. Can we ever, recover our own fumbles? Or when the other team fumbles, could we ever? And what about that interception? I mean, Stafford threw a little pop-up. Reddick deflects the ball. It's in the air. And the ball goes right through the guy's. He didn't even touch the ball. It was literally in his hands. I would have caught that interception 10 times out of 10. I'm 63 years old. And he just went right. I was like, I was a pick 6 walking in with any other team in the league, walking in. And we didn't even touch. The ball went right through the guy's hands. And it's just one calamity. The 8 penalties, the non-discipline, the no blitzing again. Stafford was untouched again. We didn't get any pressure on the quarterback. No run blitzing, no, tackling. Look, the defense, Greg Buttle, I was listening on the way home after the game's over.
Why weren't you listening to me?
I can't get you. I couldn't get it on. I couldn't. But listen,
download the ESPN New York app.
Yeah, but I'm driving and my wife's in the car.
Or put on 880 AM. Neil, okay. I need you this week. I got 9 straight shows in morning drive, man. 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., baby. Okay. I mean, we need Neil to be able to hear the show on ESPN New York. Come on.
All right. Well, I apologize for that. But Greg Buttle, he said they asked him what his grades were. So he gives the offense a C-, and he started with a D, then he went to a C-. He gave the special teams a C+, and he gave the defense a C+. And I'm saying to myself, is this guy really watch the games, or he's just a defensive, he just loves the defense. I don't know what it is. But again, it's the best 4-12 team in the history of football. So we have the best 4-12 team, Jake.
Well, you're giving them an extra loss already, Deal. They're only 4-11 right now.
Listen, I'm sorry. It's the best team I'm going to switch it up so I don't have to kill myself. We are the best 4-11 team in the history of the NFL. We could be.
Congratulations.
I mean, you look at other teams that have 3 and 4 wins. They suck. We really don't suck. We just shoot ourselves in the foot week after week.
They suck for different reasons. The teams that are worse or have the same record suck. Like those teams have very bad players for the most part. This team's got some pretty good players, and it's evident by the fact they lead in the fourth quarter in a lot of their games, and most of their losses have been by 6 points or less, yet they have 4 wins all season.
And it's coaching, and it's discipline. It's that those are let me add 2 for 5 on 4th downs. 2 for 5. And most of the 4th downs were less than 5 yards. I mean, come on. Why is the play call a seam route down the middle to Conklin, who you threw 3 times to in about 4 weeks, when all you have to do is get 5 yards? You got a little curl pattern to Devontae or Garrett and get the first down and move the chains. We're throwing a pass 30 yards downfield, which is not even a 30% play on a 4th down. That was the game. What are they doing? Who made that play call? I want to know. That was insanity. That is when you're at 4th down and the game is on the line, Jake, don't you want to do like a 50-50, turn a guy out 5 yards, catch it, 50-50 ball, get something that's at least, you're better off running the ball for 2 yards with the game on the line and throwing a 30-yard seam pass down the middle to a tight end. I mean, that's just the shit we got to deal with week after week after week. But you're right. We need Vrabel. And for Philly Noodle said to me, you still want AR next season? No, I want whoever. There is nobody else, Philly Noodles, that is going to come back and have a team worth watching.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
Neil.
Yes, Philly Noodles.
What's his rating on AR? Madden rating. What is it? What do we got?
What are you talking about?
What is Brick Johnson's Madden rating on AR? Probably a good solid 77. Listen,
Philly, do you watch the game? Philly, do you watch the game? Like every play, do you watch it?
Not this week. I missed some of it.
Oh, you missed the game. Okay. Yeah. Now, do you honestly think that we're going to get any better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers to play next year?
If we can get anyone who's physically able.
What are you talking about? Physically able
throughout the entire season. I think
the guy has played every game this year. Philly Noodles, every game.
Well, first off, the problem again, it happened again this week, is where he wants to target who he wants, and you can't tell him otherwise because he's Aaron freaking Rodgers, right? That was the whole point.
You're upset that he's got an ego. You're upset that he's got an ego. You're upset that
a human being can have an ego. When it affects your job, that's a problem, right? You usually get fired for those things.
Philly. If I was Aaron Rodgers, I would say to myself, what was I thinking to want to come to the Jets? Because he's certainly not the reason we're 4-11. He's not even.
He's partial. He's partial.
No, he's nothing to do with it.
The whole thing is.
If it was Tom Brady, we'd still be 4-11. It wouldn't matter.
I don't know about that. I'm not saying that. I'm not going there. Listen. Well, you could say that, right? But we just 2 years in a row had 7 and 10.
But you guys have been saying for the last 4 weeks, okay? The guy's numbers, do you realize he's going to get 4,000 yards this year? He's thrown one pick in the last 6 games, and the guy had a 99-yard drive to start the game today. You want to tell me that that he can't come back?
I never said he was a horrible quarterback.
No, you're saying he's too old. You want to give the age thing. You're an ageist. It has nothing to do with it.
He's also got eyes for one player. He's trying to
So he threw more balls to Devontae Adams than Garrett Wilson. Come on. That's, again.
What do you mean, come on? If I'm the defense, I'm like, yeah, come on. Keep throwing it that way. Go ahead. Do it.
Look, Devontae Adams dropped the ball in the end zone, Philly, if you weren't watching the game. That was a big play right there, okay? And it's not Aaron Rodgers' fault that with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, when we went for it in 4th down, every single day series today, that with the game on the line, stupid Olbrich doesn't even call a timeout.
Yes, that's terrible.
Run down.
He got no job coming up.
What's that?
All right, I'm back. I don't know what those two were arguing about at the end of the day. Philly didn't watch the game. Neil loves Rodgers. We get it. All right. Ralphie, super chat, cuts the line. Hope Woody and Son go in tomorrow and tell Brick he sucks. Well, so Woody and Brick Johnson will tell Obrick he sucks. Got it. 2 games to go with Jeff Obrick and staff. Thank God. Super chat from Michael Gonzalez. Jake, torn about Rodgers is just like when Kotite was here and then Parcells came in and righted the ship. I mean, that is where this team is at right now. Because Parcells won in 97 with a lot of the players that were on the 96 Jets. Coaching matters. You still need a great quarterback if you're going to win the whole thing, but you can be competitive and be a playoff team with the right coach. If Mike Tomlin's the Jet coach this year, they make the playoffs. Sorry, they do. maybe doesn't fit some of your narratives out there. But this is a coaching problem. BC, LA fan, went 4-12 to 11-5 with McVay, same quarterback in 2017. First game at MetLife. Met Nick Shine. Thanks for a good experience. Gone to 4 games this season, 4-0. BC, I'm glad that you met Nick Shine. I had a good experience. I wish Sean McVay was the Jet coach. That'd be nice. Jam is gifted a membership. He's in on the raffle. Let's go, Jam.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I burped.
Charles called me on the radio tonight, folks. It was great. Derek Q writes in, Rodgers made this more about setting the record with his best friend than making the right play. Garrett was open the whole game. I'd have to watch the film to know just how open Garrett was. Fialco's coming on tomorrow at 4 for the film review this week. We'll get into it with him. I will say this. I find it hard to believe they couldn't find ways to get Garrett the ball, though, until it was you got to throw on every play mode at the end of the game. He had 3 targets until the last drive. Tyrone checks in. Tyrone, good call tonight on the radio show. Once they get rid of once they get the right coach, this team will look way different. Go 2025 if they get the right coach. They better not hire Arthur Smith and say he's an offensive-minded guy with experience. Look what we did. They hire Arthur Smith. Here's my reaction.
Excuse me.
No. Don't be excused. Disgusting. If that's what they end up doing. Mike Vrabel. If you can't get him, Brian Flores. If Cleveland's dumb enough to fire Stefanski, Kevin Stefanski. Those are the 3. That's it. No first-timers. This is not a job for first-timers. These guys come here, they get eaten alive. I can't do it. You know, someone on the radio made a point to me. Well, you know, you're eliminating a lot of candidates if you can't hire a first-timer. The last time the Jets were good, Rex was a first-time coach. It's a long time ago. I don't trust the Jets to find another Rex. I don't. I want someone with a floor that's already established. Super chat from MYJ. Jake, what does Vrabel think about losing? Do I have that? I don't have that clip handy. Hold on. I know what you want. Let me see if I can find it for you. I do know this about Mike Vrabel. He once said that he would chop off his manhood if it means he'd win the Super Bowl. I would love that as a coach. I want experience, man. Craig M. writes in, frustrating season, but got to go see Rodgers week 18. Hey, I hope he plays for your sake, Craig. I would assume he would, but we'll see. He's got to get through Buffalo first. Here's Mike Vrabel on losing.
Because it sucks to lose, Gentry.
Trey, ever need to show you anything?
Did you have another thought or no? I'm just curious.
Well,
it fucking sucks. Losing. Awful. That's why I want to win. Because you don't sleep. You want to win for the players that bust their tail. That's it.
Okay, Gentry. Yeah. Yeah, F-stick. I want to know who this Gentry guy is. I want to meet him. Dark Knight Steve writes in, can the Jets hire Vrabel now as long as they fill the Rooney requirements with token interviews? You can't hire Vrabel now because he's under contract with another team. He's a consultant for the Browns. Samini told me that they will interview him as soon as the season ends, though. So it sounds like we're going to get our wish with the interview. Talk to his agent if you can't talk to him directly and find out what GM candidates he thinks would be good for the role. So you're prepared. And if any of them aren't employed, hopefully one of them is Dimitrov. You've already spoken to him or can speak to him. Nick Shine says, if manhood means big toe, I already got you covered. Thank you, Nick. How was the game today, Nick? We sent Nick 2 tickets to go. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the Gusbuster hotline right now is a guy who always has a spot-on perspective on the Jets. He sees it clearly. David T is up next. Hello, David.
Hi, Jake. Thank you. I hope I'm seeing things clear. I do the best I can. But oh my gosh. I'm really glad you brought up Leon Hess. You know, I'm that old and I remember, you know, I think it was Kotite, and then they brought in Parcells. But Leon Hess, I always had admiration for him. You know, Dennis Byrd had played for him, and you know, I'm not a reader. I read his book, but you know, after he got hurt, but Leon Hess would visit him in the hospital and pay his medical bills and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, he made bad decisions with coaches. But you know, when he brought in the big tuna, I couldn't believe it. I was in my glory. So I am comparing this team to that team if I can, because they do have. Oh, and Parcells brought in Curtis Martin. That was one of the first things that he did. But I compare this team to that team because they are so talented, and you know, hopefully Woody Johnson. You know, if they bring Vrabel in, I'm going to feel the same way. You know, it's like yesterday when, you know, being a Jet fan, when they brought in the big tuna, I was just elated. So that's my hope.
And look, I'm not sitting here saying Mike Vrabel is as accomplished as Parcells was when he got the Jet job, but it's a similar situation where you're bringing in a guy who's an established coach who's won a lot of games. Yeah, he hasn't won a Super Bowl, but he's never had a team that was good enough to win a Super Bowl, and he's maximized the talent he had. I want a coach that I could trust, that is a disciplinarian, has a history of hiring a good coaching staff, including offensive coordinator, which is a huge hire for him. That's what I want, man. I can't go through the first timers. I'd rather you coach the team than a first timer, because at least you have a lot of experience watching the Jets. I can't go through another first time coach.
And you know what, Jake? You talk about a disciplinarian, and my brother and I will tell you, my father was a disciplinarian, and
How was his eyesight?
His eyesight was good. Yeah, he wore glasses, but you know, but you know, and it wasn't always hard. He was a disciplinarian, and my brother and I used to go up against him. And you know what? He brought us. I think he brought us up pretty good.
I would agree.
So I mean, so in relation to that, with Vrabel, he's going to come in and be a disciplinarian, and he's probably got a big heart, and he's going to take these veteran players and kids, and you know, he's going to do his thing, and that's my hope.
My hope is that the Jets get it right, David, and you're there to see a Super Bowl parade in person. How's that sound?
I would love to see it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great David T. What a call. Joining us right now on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is Nick Shine. Hello, Nick.
Nick Shine? Bro.
Oh, wait a second. Is there two Nick Shines tonight? Nick Shine?
Yeah. Oh, there is, yeah.
That was good, man. You got me to bust out laughing. That was good.
Who's the real Nick Shine?
That would be
the big fellas. The big guys are here.
I don't know. I'm seeing double right now. I can't tell who's who.
We got the left and right tackle for 2025 in the house.
That's right.
You guys would be better than Max Mitchell if, God forbid, Olu's out long term now. Ugh.
Oh man. Yeah. Go ahead, big fella. You go first.
All right. We'll do big fella Shine first, then Nick Shine. Go ahead, big fella.
Shine. All right. Just getting to the game. You know, Vrabel says losing fucking sucks. Well, it sure does, man. And you know, I don't give a damn about Rodgers' record. I don't care about who he throws his 500th touchdown to. You have to, you play to win the game, like Herm said way back when, and that should be the most important thing. And it's that's just another reason why I don't want him back. He's putting himself before the team, and I don't agree with that. And Gibson, he should be gone.
I don't know if it's intentional or it's just like he over tried to feed Adams today. And like Adams was coming off like one of the greatest games a Jet receivers ever had. Like, I don't know. Like I like Aaron Rodgers, but I'm not bringing him back unless he's willing to run a real offense. Because like I just feel like so much of what him and Devontae do is just, oh, we're gonna just do what we do because that's how we did it in Green Bay with the off schedule stuff and the hand signals. And I trust he's gonna be where I want him to be. Like you got to run a real offense. I'm sorry. You have Garrett Wilson. He should not be targeted only 3 times until there's 4 minutes to go left in the game when you got to throw every play.
And also, why are you throwing a fade to Devontae Adams on 4th down when you could have got a first down and try it again?
Yeah, I thought that was a bad decision. I don't know if that was the play call or Rodgers just thought he was open. Whatever. It was a bad sequence of events.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, it looked like he was running the whole game. It was like we didn't have coaches out there today. I seriously think like he was in charge of everything offensively today, and I don't know. And also Carlson, he's got to go too. We can't keep doing this with missing kicks all the time.
He developed Greg Zuerlein syndrome, unfortunately.
He did, and I don't know what it's going to take for us to find a competent kicker, but we need to find one.
I mean, what's crazy is he had been pretty good until. Really, he missed one last week, and now today he was awful. So I don't know. I mean, I guess he's going to be the kicker for another week, so he has one last chance to redeem himself. But I was disappointing.
Yeah, and like I said with Gibson, I mean, he should have been gone way before now. I mean, why do we have Corley on the team if we're not going to do anything with him? Put him back there. Gibson, either he does a fair catch on a punt or he muffs a kickoff or whatever. We need competent people playing, and it just seems like it's a whole mess. Hopefully we get a decent coach like I guess Vrabel or Flores or people like that. I was actually on board with bringing Rodgers back after reading that Graziano article.
Well, on that 99-yard opening drive, I think every Jet fan was going crazy, like, "Oh shit, he's healthy. We're definitely bringing him back."
Yeah. But then again, he gets hurt in the game. It seemed like, and he doesn't want to come out.
No.
Okay? And that hurts the team too. So, I appreciate like his moxie and everything, but his whole it hurts the team. Why do we have Tyrod? Take a few plays off, get yourself checked out, and come back in when you're ready.
That's the competitor in him, though, and that's not just a Rodgers thing. That's all the greats. The criticism would be of the coaching staff not being prepared to sit Rodgers after the Denver game and get him healthy rather than him playing through the injuries he played through, because that clearly affected him. If they got this version of Rodgers in the middle part when they needed it the most,
yeah,
they wouldn't have 4 wins right now.
Right. And like I said, after reading that article with Graziano, I was like, we got to bring him back just to screw with this guy. But, Rodgers, he's a polarizing figure. I think he's, it's hard because I like what potential Rodgers could bring to us. But then I see stuff that, he's 41, and he's going to cost a lot of money. And
if he's back, modern offense, pay cut, you're still drafting a quarterback. See, like there's a way you could tell me he's back, but it's got to be under those conditions. It can't be, oh, we're running it back with Rodgers and we're all in the win next year. No, you could try and win, and you're also thinking about your future. And if he's not on board with running a new offense, learning a new system, see ya. Yeah, because you can't have your team built around what Aaron wants at this stage of his career.
Yeah, and prayers to Olu, man. That he's played amazing since he's been a starter, and it's just our luck that he goes down. The promising rookie season, he's been healthy, replacing Tyron Smith, who was terrible, and look what happens. We'll see. But I'm still a no on Rodgers coming back next year.
I'm sorry about your balls too, by the way, big fella.
It-
But let's spin it forward.
Yeah.
Ohio State winning maybe saves Ryan Day's job. And even though I didn't think Vrabel would go back to college, that does maybe eliminate the one job he might go back to college for, maybe. So that's good.
Yeah. Chip Kelly was their offensive coordinator. I was like, when they said that, I'm like, oh shit. Because I remember when he was with Oregon, it was crazy. So, hey man, kudos to them. I'm here for the smoke. I push the balls, and I'll take what's coming. But we got next year.
Big fella, all the love.
You do, my man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Shine's look-alike, the big fella. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. We got major raffle news.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive one ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Dark Knight Steve is in for 5 raffle tickets. Rick Kent is in for another 5 raffle tickets. And Dark Knight Steve says he's dedicating 5 memberships to honor G5 Garrett Wilson, who needs 17 yards for 1,000. Garrett could be pissed. He could be frustrated. He could request a trade. I'm extending him. I am not trading him. He's under contract for 2 more years. He could request a trade, just like Brandon Ayuk did, just like Budda Baker did. Both those guys eventually signed long-term extensions. Deebo Samuel wanted the new deal a few years ago, requested a trade when the Niners didn't give him one. Eventually, they agreed the terms on a contract. Someone asked for an update on Olu Fashanu. I had Rich Samiti on my radio show tonight. Rich told me that it is not an Achilles injury. It's a foot injury. They don't know the severity. He was seen on crutches after the game. Hopefully, he hurt his foot, and it's nothing that requires, a long, grueling rehab process where his offseason is affected, or God forbid the regular season. When when they say foot and they're vague and they don't show the injury on TV, by the way, for whatever reason, you think the worst, like Achilles or something. So they ruled that out at least. Jarrow says coaching will solve all problems. It's the worst ever. It doesn't solve every problem. They need to revamp this defense, the defensive line. They need to revamp several aspects of the team. But they could do that. None of it matters if they can't figure out the head coach and his coaching staff. The coaching staff is almost as important as the head coach. Vrabel has experience hiring a very good coaching staff. That's also why I like him a lot, too. Ladies and gentlemen, from one Nick Shine to another. Nick Shine is up next. Hello, Nick.
It's an absolute honor to be mentioned with the big fella. Thank you.
How cold was it today?
I have aged. I'll say that, because I used to be out there and I'd be in a t-shirt or I'd be in shorts coaching when it was in the 20s, and now I'm the one shivering. Getting old sucks. Being diabetic sucks, man, because you do not have any inner warmth anymore. I was shivering. I was the one that said, let's go. Thank you for the ticket. My brother-in-law and my nephew came with us. My nephew, 7 years old, was at his first game. He loved it. Even with the cold weather, he loved it. And you're the man for that. Thank you.
How is the beard, though? It didn't keep you warm at all?
It's the body that gets cold. It's the feet. It's the body. The face, it's fine. But the beard does work. I just need to be longer so I can cover the chest and then keep the body warm. I know you and I got into it last Sunday on my show about Rodgers. And here's some of the reasons that I want to reiterate on why I'm done. I remain done with it.
Wait a second. Midway through the week, you were coming around, you were saying.
No, midway through the week, I said, let's wait and see more. And today we saw more. We saw what it was like not going against the 32nd ranked defense. We saw a team that, again, struggles when they get down to the red zone. We saw a quarterback who, if he didn't have the Hall of Fame pedigree and he didn't have the resume, we would all be losing our goddamn minds, because he's like Zach Wilson, just checking it down. He's afraid to throw interceptions. He's afraid to push the ball downfield. And it's high percentage passes with low risk, time and time again. The defense isn't afraid of him going over the top. When you're playing defense in the NFL and you can play downhill the entire time as safeties and linebackers, it's very easy because you can keep everything in front of you, and then it's just a matter of wrapping and tackling.
Who's the quarterback next year? Now, I don't disagree with some of what you're saying, but that's the thing. It's like, what's the plan at quarterback is my thing.
I don't know. And I don't know who the bridge is. I just don't know. I just think I don't want to go over this bridge anymore, because it's going to be more financial commitment. And I don't think a new GM and a new coach are going to want to do it. And I'm at the point where I don't think Rodgers is going to want to do it.
Well, then, If that's true, he won't be back. But for me, it's whatever they want to do as new coach and GM, their decision. Because they're not gonna care that compared to other Jet quarterbacks, Rodgers has had one of the better seasons we've seen.
Who's he passing though? It's not like he's setting 49ers records. He's setting a Jet record. And any quarterback who plays 17 games should throw for 4,000 yards. It's an average of 235. It's not hard to do.
Of course. What I agree with you there. What I'm saying is I just want those new people in place to be able to decide on what they want to do. I also think it's an interesting conversation if Rodgers comes to you and says he'd take a pay cut so you don't have the dead cap concerns if you keep him for one more year, then have to cut him.
Yeah, because if you are lowering it, you're extending it, right? You're creating more void years. You're creating more dead money.
No. He's taking a pay cut, straight up pay cut. No, there's no void years or anything. It's just with his current deal, he's making less. And then because he's got a $35 million bonus that's due to him if he's on the active roster week 1, if that's picked up. So you'd have to take less off of that if he's the quarterback.
I thought if you take a pay cut, I thought you create void years because you can't give back guaranteed money in the NFL.
He has no guaranteed money left. That's why.
Okay. All right. I don't think I would do it because we're looking at a quarterback who has never had more comfort than he has playing in the system that he's played in forever. And he's not airing the ball out. He's got 2 of the most dynamic wide receivers in the NFL, and it's all quick passes, check downs, quick outs, and fades. It's never a post over the middle, splitting the safeties. We don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
Devontae beat a guy deep. We have one pass more than 50 yards in the air the whole season that's connected. In a day and era in the NFL where we put on game after game after game and we watch dynamic offenses and creativity and airing it out. I said tonight on my show, the cameramen who do the Jet game must be thrilled because they never have to move the camera downfield at a pass. Everything stays in screen. Nothing gets aired out downfield in this offense.
I don't know how that gets better next year though with a different quarterback. Like you got to tell me who the quarterback is. That's the concern.
I don't know that. I don't have that answer. We don't know the GM. We don't know the coach. We don't know the offensive coordinator. We don't know the scheme. I just don't think a new regime is going to say, let's kick off our regime. Let's make our imprint with a 41-year-old quarterback going on 42. I have a tough time finding a young offensive mind, if we go that route, saying this is the guy in the most mobile quarterback era in NFL history. I want to get a guy who's going to be 42 to run my offense. And I don't think a respectable head coach coming in, a Vrabel or a Flores, are going to want to do that because they know the difficulties that come with Rodgers. They know that there's going to be – look, Garrett Wilson's pissed. He's saying the right things, but you can tell this guy is pissed. From last week saying throw the fade to this week not getting targets to then saying I miss LaFleur. That's when things started to go downhill here. Like he doesn't like this system. He doesn't like who's getting him the ball because he's not getting him the ball.
Well,
and I would rather keep Wilson happy than appease Rodgers for one more year.
Obviously, yes, I agree with that last part. But here's Garrett Wilson is like top 5 in the NFL on targets this year. He wasn't targeted enough today, but this is not like I think the media is now turning this into Garrett hates Rodgers and he's gonna want Garrett Wilson also has to not always freak out the way he does, and I love the guy. But I think a couple things could be true with something like that. You know what I mean? I love Garrett, but he also let's not act like he's not getting the ball. He's been one of the most targeted receivers in the NFL this year.
He has, but you could see that he's just forcing it to Devontae.
I think the route tree they have for Garrett is a problem, and he definitely, I agree with you, hates the offense. So what they need to do is they need to go out there, and if you're bringing Rodgers back, tell him we're running a modern offense, and if you're not cool with it, tough. And I think Vrabel was the one guy where I think Rodgers and him have a personal relationship. He might look at it and go, he would be willing to learn a new offense. Because, by the way, who hired Matt LaFleur and gave him his chance as an OC? Mike Vrabel. So maybe Vrabel could be like, look, you won 2 MVPs in this offense. I hired your coach who you won the MVPs with. Trust me, I could get you to play at a high level if you buy into the offense I want to run. That's a lot that has to happen for that to play out, but that's one scenario where Vrabel's the coach, Rodgers buys in, he's back, and you draft a quarterback behind him, and Rodgers is the bridge for a year.
Bring back the other LaFleur as the offensive coordinator. Give him another shot under Vrabel.
Well, you know, that'd be interesting,
You
right?
give
Mike,
him 2 years under McVay and say, you know what? Now let's go.
I'll tell you what. If Woody wasn't the reason why LaFleur got fired in the first place, I think maybe it could work. Because, right, let's say like Saleh fired LaFleur on his own for whatever reason. Then it's like, okay, you bring LaFleur back with a real coach. Maybe there's something to it. Because, by the way, LaFleur, in hindsight, was way better than anything we've seen at play caller. Zach Wilson just sucks. Like every other quarterback who ran the offense that LaFleur had way more success than anything we've seen with Hackett, and now Downing here. Like, come on.
You're right. And I think that the owner, listen, I want an experienced coach. You and I have discussed this at length. I want a guy like Vrabel. I want a guy who has experience. I want a guy who demands respect when he walks into the room. I want a guy where this fan base doesn't have to guess what the guy is going to be. We know his pedigree. We know what he brings to the table. We know who, to quote the Charles rap, we know who he be. That's what I want. I have a lot of concerns as a Jet fan that...
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I burped.
A lot of concerns as a Jet fan that somebody with that pedigree won't want to work under the Johnsons, because where there's smoke, there's fire. And we could say that it's a hit piece by The Athletic and all that stuff, but people talk. And if there are people who've worked here talking, there's a good chance that people who might want to interview here are hearing more than what we're hearing through the media. So I do have concerns about that. I think it could be a very, very disappointing offseason for the Jets. And I know we want greatness, but I don't know if greatness is going to want us with the Johnsons in charge, my friend.
Look, you have Vrabel on the record, Nick, saying that he would take the job depending on the GM hire. So talk to him. Who does he want to work with? If that's the only way you can get him, the Jets offer him an opportunity he won't get anywhere else. Most teams, by the way, the Giants might be one of the other teams in this category. Most of the teams that have coach openings don't also have GM openings. The Jets have both. That's a very unique opportunity, and they have more talent than some of these other teams they're talking to here. So, you got to sell. You got to sell the opportunity. And apparently, the Jets' job is viewed as an attractive one, according to the reports today. Now, agents look at the Jets and know what he's going to give you 5 or 6 years of generational wealth. That's a big reason why the Jets are viewed as an attractive job. Joe Douglas got a 6-year deal and was made one of the highest paid GMs in the NFL before ever being a GM to take this job. Woody will spend money. The question is, can he get the right person to take the money to do a good job? That's been the problem.
Okay, that's fair. And we talked about this earlier. It's weird for me going on before you and not after you. Usually I follow you up and then, discuss some of the things that got brought up on your show. But we looked at a Liz Frank injury, which you hope it's not that, because if it's foot,
she's such a bitch.
Yeah, you hope that it's not that, because it did say anywhere from 9 months to a year if it needs the surgery before you're fully back.
Yeah,
especially being a lineman and a bigger guy, you don't want him to have to go through that this early in his career. So you hope it's a bone break. Like, not that you hope he's injured, but we know he's injured. You hope it's a bone break, a fracture, something that's set, or heal on its own, and not that injury. But let me head home. I appreciate you. Thank you for all you do. And happy holidays to you this week, my friend. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Nick Shine, proud NY Jets fan on YouTube. Check it out. I thought Nick Shine was going to bring up the fact Bobby Midnight streamed a show today during an NFL game. An NFL Sunday. Bobby went head-to-head with the NFL today, folks. Bold. Fiore with a super chat here. Thank you, Fiore. Your interview with Rich pissed off a lot of people. His suggestion of Arthur Smith and Cousins or Tyrod as a bridge went over exactly as you would expect. Fan base might just give up. Was that aggregated anywhere, Fiore? I've been online here. Did someone take Rich's comments and put them out anywhere? Yeah, I mean, look. I told Rich straight up, I'm like, if they hire Arthur Smith, his fan base is going to revolt. I don't think Arthur Smith's getting the job. I don't. Kirk Cousins playing for the minimum. I mean, at that point, if we're just going to keep an old guy coming off an Achilles injury, just give me Rodgers for another year with Devontae. I don't know. I don't want Cousins. No, thank you. If the Jets move on from Rodgers, I think my thought process right now would be Tyrod, who's under contract, Justin Fields, and draft a rookie. And go from there. Fields is young. He's gotten better every year. Maybe he could continue to be an ascending young player, like what we've seen Darnold now do, what Baker's done, first-round pedigree. That's what I would look at. But none of the options are that exciting. But Kirk Cousins stinks. He's worse than Rodgers. They bring in Kirk Cousins and cut Rodgers. That'd be so stupid. That'd make no sense. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy called the radio show and was a huge hit. He's down in Australia, where this morning he got up to watch the Jets at 4 o'clock in the morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig is up next. Hello, Craig.
I love pain. I love misery. What can I tell you? It's the only explanation, right? At this point.
How much caffeine have you had today to get you through the day?
Oh, shitloads. But that's a normal. that's a normal day for me.
Yeah.
Question: who is suggesting we have Kirk Cousins? Can we expose these people?
Rich
and ridicule
Samini
them?
mentioned, we were talking about quarterback options on the radio show tonight, and he mentioned Cousins because, Atlanta's paying him, so he'd be on the veterans minimum. But I'm like, no, he sucks.
Oh, I don't care what the reason. That would be the stupidest thing ever. So, that better not happen. I may not get up at 4:30 in the morning to watch Kirk Cousins.
If you're going to bring in another aging quarterback coming off an Achilles injury, give me Aaron Rodgers, who's already here.
Yeah, let's just keep Rodgers.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Look, first things first, thanks so much for having me on ESPN. I was legitimately nervous because I didn't want to screw up your radio show and your bosses to go, how'd you let you knew this guy and you let him on and he's trashed our thing. So that was amazing.
You were great, Craig. The call, and then in the commercial break, my producer was like, damn, we got calls from Australia. I go, the Asmaniacs are everywhere, baby.
Mate, this is your reach. I hope they understand your value and your worth. And as I said to you, when you were leaving Houston, when you come back to New York, it was going to open more and more opportunities being based here. And I think it's going to get better and better. And like you said before, can't wait for Fialco to get his breakdown on that game, especially the targeting and stuff, to see what he thinks. Because if he thinks that it's true, there's no greater wizard on this planet than that guy when it comes to film. So I'll definitely be watching that. But I have come up with a way that the Jets can win, and that is if we have a competition, as I might have mentioned earlier, on dumb ways to lose, new records to set. So if we think of them and they try them out, they will win every time. We will never be able to think originally of the things that they come up with of ways to lose, because it's not just the losing, it's how they do it.
It's amazing. I mean, today
it's a form. Don't you think it's a form of genius, really, in its own way?
Oh, if losing was like an Olympic sport, like the Jets would
gold medal.
I mean, they'd
every time.
They'd have more medals than like Michael Phelps and Usain Bolt combined. Like it's insane. It's insane. They scored 9 points. Yeah, 100%. They scored 9 points today. Didn't punt. Like it's insane to say that out loud.
I didn't even notice they didn't punt.
They didn't punt once. Morstead had the day off, and they scored 9 points. It's insane.
You have to laugh because the alternative, as we know, is the fetal position in the mental institute. This is our only other option. But whatever, I'll still be up bright and early to see the last two of their divisional games, I think. And yeah, look, anything can happen, right? Anything can happen.
Hey, New England had a chance to win today against the Bills, so we'll see. I mean, there's 2 games to go. I don't think the Jets will win either, but I think the game they are
probably
likely.
Not. You wouldn't bet on it.
No, yeah, the game they're more likely to win is Miami because Miami could be out of it.
Yeah,
it's in the cold. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, everyone hit like, subscribe, join the Patreon, get on the Discord, call ESPN, support our man, support the captain of our team. If I can do it from 10,000 miles away, you can all do it as well. See you later.
Craig, you're the best. And, man, one of these years, it's going to be worth you getting up at the crack of dawn to watch this football team. I truly believe that. I don't know when, but eventually. Craig is the best. One of the greats. Nick Shine with a $20 super chat says, put this towards memberships. Thanks for the tickets. Nick Shine. That's 5 raffle tickets in your name, my good man. Every $20 super chat or more is the equivalent of gifting 5 memberships.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Raven, who's next. Hey, Raven.
Hey, Jake. How are you?
Raven, were you at the game today?
I was actually. I got tickets last minute. I was row 1, actually, like kind of off the bench, like not on the side that they run out of, like on the opposite side. Like super last minute, I like woke up, put on my thermals. I'm a skier, so I had them, and just got my ass out the door. But
do you regret going because of how cold it was and the loss?
like, I'm not gonna lie, I had a great time. Like, I don't know. I was happy to be there. It was like really cool being like that close to the players. Cause like usually when I go, I'll sit like right near one of the end zones, like kind of like middle of the lower bowl. You know, you get like a good view just like of everything down the field. So this is my first time more like in the middle. So it's just like cool being near the players. So I had a great time. I was like literally and sorry guys, maybe this was the jinx. I was like saying to my dad, I was like, this is like the best day ever. It eventually became the saddest day ever. So
it's just amazing. Because like the opening drive was 99. They haven't scored an opening drive touchdown all year. They score a 99-yard opening drive touchdown, and you're thinking, wow, like Rodgers is going to be good again today. Like he's going to build on what we've seen these last 2 games. Here we go. And they scored 9 points. It's unreal.
No, that's exactly it. And like, you know, when you go see a football game live, you know, there's certain things that you don't quite see. And from what I was watching, I don't know if I'm just crazy, and it was one of those things where, yeah, I didn't see it. It's not like they played so terrible. I think like, at least up until the interception, I think the interception just like completely threw off their rhythm, and then they just spiraled from there. It's almost like these guys just like get into their own heads, not to like speculate on their mental state. But I literally said to my dad, I was with him, I was like, they just gotta like, okay, fine, like turn over. They just can't let it get into their heads. And that's exactly what happened. And then we actually had an interesting conversation because he seems to feel like it's the players. I disagree. I agree with you. It's the coaching. And, you know, these guys are so talented, and that's great. And they're always going to compete. Sorry. You know, it's cold. That's why my nose real quick. You know, these guys, yeah, they're always going to go out and compete and like give it their all. Like that's just like in their DNA. But at the end of the day, your coach is going to be the one who calls you out when you're messing up and is going to be the one to basically tell you how to stop messing up. You know, they're going to be the ones to tell you like get your head together, or like you're on the bench, just like your boss will tell you like get your shit together. I'm trying not to curse, or like we're firing you. And this like team just does not have that person. I think not that I wanted Salah to stay past this season, and I didn't think he would. I don't know how much better he would be necessarily, but I think firing him was in like the worst mistake we could have made this season. I really do. And again, I'm not even trying to say he was going to be that much better. I just think it's obvious that those guys still played for him, even with the lack of success. And from what I see now, it's just like they're like, not that they don't love Brick. It's just that they're just not in it the same way anymore.
Salah clearly had way more to do with the defense than anyone realized. And clearly that move was the wrong one. Now, I thought Robert Saleh, you know, was in danger of being fired if they lost that Bills game, but I was surprised it happened 5 games in. Clearly hasn't worked. And I don't think they were going to win anything with Salah, but I think they definitely have more than 4 wins if he was still here. That all being said, like, they were never going to win with him anyway. So
yeah,
at this point, you have to just hope. And that's all we have. Hope that they can hire the right people, because that's really it.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you're saying, but I think it's more so or maybe not necessarily more so. I think two things can be true at once in terms of the defense. I think, yes, Salah was way more involved with it than we realized, but B, I also just think there's simply no coaching infrastructure. If you think about it, you have Jeff Ulbrich being the head coach and the defensive coordinator, who I haven't even seen Nate Hackett in the building, even though he's only offensive coordinator by name only. I haven't even freaking seen him in the building and God knows how long. So now you have Todd Downing doing double duty. You lost your GM, and right before that, you fired the interim GM. So who the hell is doing that? Like, it's just like, as much as there's all this incompetence, like you said, there's no infrastructure. There's nobody left, quite frankly.
They need a total culture reset, Raven. 100%. Good call. I'm glad that you were able to still have fun at the game despite the loss and the frigid temperatures. They have no culture right now. It's a culture of just losing. Everyone in that building that's a coach or a front office person, they're gone. They all got to go. And there's 2 games, and then they will go. And that's why I think experience is so important. You got to bring in someone that people believe in right away. You hire Mike Vrabel, Garrett Wilson's going to believe he's a good coach. Doesn't hurt that they both are Buckeyes. By the way, if they do hire Vrabel, you think Mike Vrabel is going to let the Jets trade away another stud wide receiver after his downfall started in Tennessee when his GM there, John Robinson, blindsided him and traded away his best player in A.J. Brown? Or best receiver, because I guess Derrick Henry was on that team, so he's the best player. Come on now. Coaching, man. Starts with coaching. This team is better than 4-11 if they have the right coach. ML says, Jake, great to hear you on ESPN Radio today. Thanks for listening, ML. I will be on ESPN New York starting today, 11 of the next 14 days. Some people take off this time of year. People don't work this time of year. That's the opposite for me. This is my busiest time of the year. Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. all week long. Morning radio. We'll try and do at least 1 YouTube show a day, if not 2, but most likely 1 because I'm just doing too much radio. That starts Tuesday. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Purple Belt Mike. What's up, PBM? Speaking of radio, PBM originally found me through the radio. What's up, Mike?
Yo, yeah, I got 2 people on the hit list today.
All right.
First one is Boca Joe. Boca Joe says the Jets should be favored against the Dolphins.
Boca Joe.
They should not be favored against.
You're going after Boca Joe in our Discord chat, Mike. That's what fires you up?
Yeah, he pissed me off because he was saying how, whoever was a moron for thinking that. Like, no, you're the freaking moron. You're the idiot. Think the Jets should be favored. Jets shouldn't be favored in shit. They haven't given us any reason for optimism, and they deserve to be the dogs at home because they're probably going to lose anyway.
They might be they might be a slight dog at home. It'll be close. It could be a pick 'em because if the Dolphins are playing for nothing either, I could see the Jets.
Who knows who's going to be playing? If Gardner's hurt and he's not going to play, if Quinnen's not playing, it's a dog and pony show with the Jets.
I mean, does it matter? No one knows who Boca Joe is in the chat because I guess he doesn't call, but he is a big part of the Discord.
Yeah, he pissed me off. And then he told me to take it up with you.
Who else pissed you off? Yes.
He told me to take it up with you because he said that you would say that the Dolphins should be the favorite. I'm like, there's no way you're going to say that.
I think you worded that wrong.
No.
You're saying the Dolphins should be the favorites. Boca Joe thinks the Jets will be a favorite?
Yes, and he said that you said that the Jets should be the favorite.
I don't think I've ever said that. I would say the Jets.
I know he's an idiot. That's what he is.
They might be a favorite, but it wouldn't be like it'd probably be like -1 if they're a favorite.
Yeah, they're not going to be though.
I would say this to both you and Boca Joe. We're on the same team.
Yeah.
But if Boca Joe calls him right now, we'll play the Rumble music and we'll get this bad boy on. But continue, Mike.
And then the other one is Blanda. He said before in the chat, he said something about, what has
Blanda?
Vrabel
George?
done? Yeah. He said, what has Vrabel done? Vrabel's won multiple Super Bowls. He's coached a number 1 seed in the playoffs. He's won playoff games. He's won games after byes. He's won games after getting extra rest with Thursday night games. He's done a hell of a lot more than any of the coaches have done in the past 14 years. So you know what? You can go to the hole because you're a moron. You don't want Vrabel? You think it's hype? Get the fuck out. You're an idiot. Dumb. 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 Stupid idiot. We need Vrabel. That's who we need.
Anything else, Mike?
That's for Blanda. And that's
Mike
it.
Mike getting very rattled by people in the Discord tonight. What a call. Look, I want to make it clear. I'm banging the drum hard for Vrabel. I'm not pretending like he's the best coach in the NFL. I think he's a good coach. I think he's the best this team could do. Does he solve every issue if they hire him? No. But we got to start there. All right. So I'm going to be very vocal and use the following I have on this channel and my influence on the radio to pound the table for that, because I am sick of these first-time coaches. I cannot take it anymore. I really can't. All right. If they suck with Vrabel, I'll deal with it. But I'll take my chance with a guy that I know is at least good, not hoping the next coach they hire who's never been a head coach before turns into a coach as good as Mike Vrabel. If Aaron Glenn has a resume as good as Mike Vrabel, we'd be going goo-goo gaga right now. If the Jets hired a coach that's never been a head coach and he proceeds to win 9 or more games in his first 4 years, is a 1 seed one of the years, and goes to an AFC championship game, we'd give that guy a statue. So that's why I want Vrabel. And if they can't get him, give me Brian Flores. Not as good of a resume, but I think he fits what they need, and he's got experience. And if the Browns fire Stefanski, drop everything I just said and go hire him first. And Boca Joe, if you're out there, call in and defend yourself, because Purple Belt Mike just went up and in. Chin music. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is a guy who's caused a lot of controversy. He's a guy that you either love him or you hate him. Ladies and gentlemen, we say hello right now to Rob the Jet fan from Glenhead.
Women. What's up, Jake? What's up, Jake?
What's up, Rob?
Jake, let's say it together. Our next head coach. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Mike Vrabel.
That was very succinct. I love it.
Let's manifest that, buddy. Let's manifest that.
Hell yeah.
You know, I tell you, I watched the game. Aaron Rodgers had a good first half. The second half obviously wasn't as good. Obviously, you put some of it on him, no doubt about it. But you also have to put a lot on people dropping passes. Devontae dropped one in the end zone, which would have been obviously a touchdown, and it got batted out. People are dropping passes, and you know what? On the line, every time we get into the red zone, all of a sudden we're getting these illegal procedures or people downfield. And it doesn't happen once. It happens 2 or 3 times in a row. Like, you know, it's remarkable how this keeps happening. But you know what? Good coaching fixes this, Jake. Let's be honest here. Like, you know, a lot of people, you know, want Aaron gone. Okay, that's fine. But until I hear a better plan, I mean, I'm going to still say that I want Aaron back. Because, you know, yet a lot of people say, no, we got to move on. We got to move on. And then you ask them, you know, okay, so what do you want to do next year? Well, I don't know. So we're going on, I don't know. So, you know, no offense, I don't want to go on, I don't know. I want a better, you know, strategy than that. What are we doing for 2025? And to be honest with you, anything that comes in 2025, unless our backup quarterback, Tyra Taylor, has a good year and stays healthy the whole year, I think that would be the only opportunity that we would have a decently good year and maybe compete for a wild card. Because to be honest with you, anyone else, Sam Howell comes in, if we were nuts enough to go for Kirk Cousins or Jameis Winston or anyone else, let's be honest, we're probably not going to make the playoffs next year. It'll probably be a sacrifice season, and we would have to go with that. And I can't stand what's going on right now, Jake. I mean, I was watching SNY, and I'm sure you'll listen to it when you get a chance. But Connor Rogers, Bart Scott, Willie Colon were really beating that drum about Rogers, just passing to Devontae a lot, which he probably did, maybe a little too much. And now that it's almost like they're intentionally trying to piss off Garrett Wilson, because now when they interview him, it didn't seem like they really didn't go to you. Were you open? Were you open? And Garrett Wilson said, well, of course I was open and stuff. But if that's what type of game plan they want to do, then
no, they're trying to bait him, of course. And Garrett can't take the bait. We know Garrett's pissed and he's frustrated, but just because he requests a trade doesn't mean you trade him. That's why I bring up Vrabel and the AJ Brown thing. I think Mike Vrabel could say, hey, we recognize your talent. We're going to have a plan to get you the ball. I like Aaron, but if he's not willing to run a real offense, he can't be the quarterback next year.
No,
he can't.
Agreed. He's got to be willing to do it. And you know what? I think a guy like Vrabel commands that type of respect, and he's going to say, well, this is the way it's going to be. You're either down with it or you're not, and you're gone, and we'll find someone else. And then so be it. Whatever happens and whoever they get, I'll live with it. But you know what? At least give the opportunity. We have to get a guy like Vrabel. I don't even care, Jake, if Ben Johnson is available and Vrabel's available and they both say we want in, I would pick Vrabel. You know what? I think we demand right now, Jake, demand an experienced guy. A no-nonsense disciplinarian.
Well, because the culture's in the toilet on this team right now. There's a victim losers mentality that engulfs the building. They got to bring in someone that's won before. Vrabel won a Super Bowl as a player. He's won in the league before as a coach. He's a former player, so guys respect him. To me, he's the best fit for what they need. Aaron Glenn maybe is a good coach one day. Mike Vrabel's already proven he is a good coach. That's why you got to hire him.
Wait, Jake. Be honest, Jake. Are we in the position right now that we can sacrifice another year or two on a rookie coach and a maybe? Or would you rather have a guy like Vrabel? You're right. Nobody's saying Vrabel's Bill Parcells. But you know what? He's kind of like Bill Parcells. He's no nonsense. People respect him. He's a disciplinarian. And you know what? Even superstars listen to him. And he's not going to let a guy like Garrett Wilson walk out the building. He's going to say, buddy, we're going to build with you. You're staying. You're not going anywhere. Now I want to issue one more question, Jake, and then I know you have a lot of callers. What if Aaron is coming back and Garrett Wilson obviously still on our team, and Devontae wants to come back, but Garrett Wilson says, you know what? If Devontae's coming back and we're not featuring me, then you know what? I want to trade. Would you appease Garrett Wilson and say, Devontae, under those circumstances, we can't bring you back because we don't want to piss off Garrett Wilson? Or do you try to smooth it out and work it out with a coach like a Mike Vrabel?
I don't want to trade Garrett Wilson, so I'm doing everything I can to keep him. But I'm not going to let a player dictate my plan. If the Jets decide to move forward with Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson's like, well, I don't want to play with Rodgers, trade me. Okay, cool. Hold out, see what happens. And I love Garrett. I don't think he would hold out. I think everyone's pissed. I'm glad that he's pissed because it shows he cares. You got to pay him and hire a real offensive coordinator who runs a real scheme.
Or would you sacrifice Devontae leaving? Saying Aaron still comes back.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't see the scenario where Aaron would be back and Devontae wouldn't be. That wouldn't make any sense to me.
Oh, so you think they both come together?
Yeah, I think if Aaron Rodgers is here, so is Devontae. And if he's not here, Devontae's gone.
Agreed. I mean, it's got to play out that way, Jake. You know what? I don't think that we can honestly go into next year with a rookie coach. We really can't. Aaron Rodgers Aaron Glenn one day might be a good coach. It's possible. But I don't think we can really take that risk right now. We need an experienced quarterback who really commands.
Did you get a haircut, Rob? It looks good.
Yeah, it's good.
I like tremendous.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. But yeah, that's my opinion. That's my 2 cents. It's about it. Merry Christmas to all and happy holidays. I'll try to call in before, obviously, the holidays, but
Rob, give us a good women before you go.
I can't. My daughter's right upstairs.
Oh, just give us a little women. Come on.
Women.
Tremendous. I mean, that's everything and more you could have got there. Hit the like button after that. And if you're one of the 700 people still watching, please subscribe to the channel. Joe Beningo joins us at 10 a.m. tomorrow. The big fellow wrote in, Jake, we need a whole bounty meter for Brandon. Ladies and gentlemen, a bounty has been set. 10 super chats of $2 or more. And we will see Brandon be sent to the hole immediately. If you're wondering who Brandon is, he wrote in earlier, I love seeing all the morons come together to defend each other. Absolute cinema. Brandon, your days might be numbered. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig in Australia super chats. I think I'm the only friend Brandon has. There's 1 super chat. There's 2 super chats from the big fella. The best thing for this offense would be Brees to get a screen pass and take it to the house for a touchdown. Also, Lazard plays like he was born with 2 hands. That's a great breakdown on Lazard. The fact that they don't use Brees more as a designed receiver is insane to me. Every time he has the ball in his hands on a check down, he makes multiple guys miss. And Brees is actually healthy now, so he looked like himself today. He wasn't on the injury report this week. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Sean, who's next. Hey, Sean.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good, Sean.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's my first time being here on the show and stuff too, and I'm sure you'd like my Joe Namath hat and stuff.
I do.
I tell you, my dad was a huge Joe Namath fan. That was his boyhood idol. But there's just been so much frustration, everybody, with this. I'm going to say this is the worst season since 1996 as a Jets fan. When Rich Kotite came in, horrible. 3-13 in 1995. They hired him in January of 95. I mean, Leon Hess obviously was trying to find somebody who was going to be the best coach. 1-15 was a horrible 1996 season. Then we went 9-7, 12-4, 8-8 when Bill Parcells was there. But again, I like your idea about Mike Vrabel. I think he would be an excellent candidate for this job because he's disciplined. He doesn't take no crap with losing. Now, the other thing I was going to ask you too, Jake, I hope this is a good question to ask you. Any shot, I hope you guys are okay with me asking this, any chance the Jets could maybe inquire about Mike McCarthy or John Gruden, or is that not even going to be possible?
Well, Gruden, I think they should interview and he's available right now to interview. McCarthy, I mean, I don't want to dump all over McCarthy. I don't think he's a bad coach. He's won a Super Bowl. He won 12 straight games or 3 years in a row until this year. I don't think McCarthy's a fit for what they need right now. You obviously could do a lot worse than Mike McCarthy, but I don't know. We're going to give Mike McCarthy a third opportunity to be a head coach. I don't see it. Even if you keep Rodgers, you really are the Green Bay Packers if you hire Mike McCarthy. That'd be crazy.
Yeah,
to me.
the reason why I was talking to everybody about McCarthy is that he had that connection with Aaron Rodgers when he was with the Packers. I kept thinking about it. I was talking about another Jet chat rooms and stuff to everybody and saying, yeah, honestly, maybe that would be a good idea. But John Gruden is a very disciplined coach. I mean, he just have to work past that scandal that he got hit with and try to get it figured out. But yeah, the Jets, don't screw around, please. Don't get a first-year coach. Get somebody who's disciplined, the way Bill Parcells was, the way Rex Ryan was, or even when they had Weeb Eubank or Walt Michaels or even Joe Walton. Because I don't know. I mean, I hope you guys, all you awesome Jet fans out there, watch the New York Sack Exchange, the 30 for 30 on ESPN. I thought that was an outstanding documentary because, when you think about it, look at what kind of a defense they had and how close to the 80s the Jets were to winning Super Bowl championships. I mean, they were there, and then the 90s was rough. And then you had Bill Parcells, who was the best thing that happened to that Jet organization because finally the Jets started selling out again and stuff too. But I don't blame Jet fans for really not even going to the game today because we're disappointed. We're fed up. It's like, wow, we had expectations to be a Super Bowl team the last 2 years. I mean, and I agree. I've not ever appreciated MetLife Stadium. I hope one day that the New York Jets will move across the Hudson River back to New York City. I've never liked East Rutherford, New Jersey, where the Jets have shared a stadium with the Giants. I'm sorry. Look, that old place, that place was a dump. Think about what happened to Vinny Testaverde. Busted his Achilles tendon in week 1 against New England in '99, and then Pennington got hurt. Again, there's something about playing in East Rutherford, New Jersey that just screws the Jets completely.
It's not their stadium. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, the Jets should have their own stadium. And I think what was great about the Sack Exchange, Doc, is all the shots of them at Shea Stadium and how cool that was. Like that was awesome seeing like that environment in HD footage that they had for that. So
yeah, but yeah, you think about it too, Jake. I mean, it's been like it's just been so sad. I mean, with all the frustration and the misery, I know it's been hard, from the Mud Bowl, moving out of Chase Stadium, dealing with the Heidi game, which was such a joke when that children's program comes and interrupts the Jets-Raiders game and stuff. But then Joe Namath and the Jets made the guarantee happen with them winning Super Bowl III. But I know the Jets' time is coming for a Super Bowl, but they need, again, it starts with coaching. And yeah, I'm disappointed with ownership too. And I heard what Raven said when she was on. Who knows what would have happened if Robert Saleh had not been fired. I mean, I agree. It was one of the worst moves I felt that they did because I honestly felt that Saleh should have stayed on, and who knows where the team really would have been right now.
We'll never know. Sean, excellent first call, man. Call back anytime. We'll never know. I don't think Saleh was going to end up being a great coach, but to defend him on this, I know they'd have more than 4 wins right now. That's for sure. The defense wouldn't have fallen off the way it has. But I don't think they were ever going to win with him as the head coach. I don't. It's not like, they were 2-3 when they fired him. That Denver loss was real bad, though, man. Ladies and gentlemen, a bounty was placed on Brandon. And when that happens and the Asmaniac community comes together, you knew the bounty would be hit. Rick Kent writes in, bye-bye, Brandon. Big fella, another one. Craig writes in, sorry, Craig, you're cool, but your boy got to go. Rick Kent, I stand with Craig. Big fella, and another one. Rick Kent, the big fella, is a legend. Craig, I'll miss playing with Brandon. Billy Blaze, Rex is a head coach, and Gruden as an OC would be a wild ride. Gruden would never take an OC job, and Rex has already chat on Gruden. That won't happen. Big fella, bye, Brandon. Take your ass home, son. Big fella, Rick Kent is the original Asmaniac legend. All that has led to this moment that we will be talking about for years, decades, centuries to come. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon, thanks for watching the show. Your day is over.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
We will see you later. Sean, good call, though, man. Call back more. Very knowledgeable on the history of the team. Let's see. Let's get to more of your calls right now. Somebody alert Bobby Midnight. His arch nemesis is on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, South End Auto Detailing, also known as South Ass, is up next. What's up, my friend?
Jake, what's going on, man? How you been?
Where have you been, man? Where have you been?
I've Just life and shit, bro. I'm still watching. The Jets been so disappointing, man. I had an anxiety attack watching them. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. Literally, bro. Like, turned it off third quarter. Went to bed. I don't know if I told you, but went to bed with my girl. Fucking wake up shaking, bro. Fuck. She's like, "What are you doing?" Like, shut up. I'm like, I feel fucking terrible, dude. I was freaking out, all because I get so worked up watching them. So for the first time in my life, I've been, watching from the sideline, not putting the jersey on, and just sit down watching today. It's like they're playing for stats. I don't know if you see my headline, but it's like, you're playing Madden with your friend and he's running all the routes and you're just trying to throw it to him. Meanwhile, we got Garrett Wilson. He's the future and he's getting no targets. Like, I don't understand it, bro. I don't get it.
It felt like they were doing exactly what you said, just trying to spoon feed Adams,
They want this.
get touchdown number 500, Rodgers to
Yeah.
Devontae, and it's like, man,
Yeah.
let's win a game. Let's win a football game. That game was infinitely winnable for them to win.
Yeah, and then the opening script is like looks all right, and then it just goes to nothing, like I don't know. They come out and they look all right, and then he just says, "Coach, I got it," the rest of the way. Or
Hold
I
on
mean, I
one
love
second.
Rodgers, bro.
South S, stay right there. This comment is so egregious. I'm addressing it right away and sending him to the hole. Name a time where a coach has gotten fired, rehired, and it's been successful. Vrabel's the worst pick that we could do. It's Aaron, Glenn, or bust. Pepsi CEO don't get fired, then go to Coke and win. Ladies and gentlemen, today's dumbass comment of the day is presented by Evan. Farewell, Evan.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
So there's a lot of examples I could bring up, but the two most famous ones have to be Belichick and Andy Reid. I mean, Andy Reid, I think, is a better coach than Belichick, by the way, because Andy Reid won with how many different quarterbacks? And then when he finally got his version of Brady and Mahomes, look what he's done. But Reid and Belichick come to mind. Not to mention, like, Dick Vermeil is probably one of the more famous examples. 15 years in between jobs, wins the Super Bowl with the Rams. Name me a time where a coach got fired and rehired and has been successful. I mean, have you watched Todd Bowles? Who did he get fired by? I don't even love Todd Bowles. Mike Holmgren's another example. Gary Kubiak got fired by the Texans, won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos. Pete Carroll got fired by the Jets and the Patriots, won a Super Bowl in Seattle. I mean, that comment was so stupid. Anyway, South End, we're coming back to you. South End, I just wanted to make sure that Bobby didn't bully you off the internet. It's good to know that you're still watching the show.
No, I mean, I just was like, I didn't want to say anything mean to him. He's a good dude and shit, and life sometimes.
He's been very, very aggressive at people lately. So you probably did the right thing, not showing your face.
I've been hearing him. I've been wanting to call in and say, applaud the people telling him to relax a little, because that's all I was saying in the beginning. Like, all right, but whatever. It's as long as we have people to talk to and we're happy and a community to go to. That's what it's all about, bro. Like when I saw the guy pass the other day, I can't think of his name, but
Keith Best.
Yeah, Keith Best. I'm like, that's how I started my day, dude. And the little tribute video had me almost in tears. And not to get into it, but my dog just got diagnosed with a nasal cancer less than 48 hours ago, and they're telling me he's got weeks to live. And I've been like the last couple hours, 2 days, just soul searching, bro. So if you guys could all just say a little prayer for me, and we're thinking of Keith Best. And I know you don't know the dog or nothing, but you got a big community and you guys somewhat know me. So keep me in your thoughts. And I'm a diehard Jet, man. I want to win. I want to stop being a joke. Can't even wear my gear in public. Like, it's like, I dressed like Aaron Rodgers as a clown for Halloween. I don't know if you saw on my Instagram, and I went to a restaurant and I won the best costume, and it's like, I got to make fun. It sucks, man. So I want to win, bro. Keep doing your thing. I won't keep you anymore. And Yeah, you'll hear from me. I'm gonna need a little therapy, so you might hear from me a little more. But
Nice.
go Jets, man.
Keep calling in, South End. Good to hear from you. I hope your dog gets better. And man, I think South. I keep calling him South End because of Bobby, but South End was ahead of his time. He basically tried to warn Bobby from being the monster that Gary created by telling him to eat 7 butter sticks a day. Because if you think about it, that's really where it all began. Bobby's diet of 7 butter sticks a day has created a monster. And the monster who created him is on the line.
They're in here talking about vanilla Coke. So it's like it's normal to drink vanilla Coke, but butter, that's a bridge too far. Amazing. Like simply amazing. I don't want to fight. I don't want to argue today. I don't have the energy to argue. Yeah, someone put Xavier. I don't have the energy to argue about butter or carnivore diet today. We can pick that up next week. Or
what about
after
salad?
Christmas.
Hello, Gary. I am going to kill you because you eat only butter. You need a salad like me.
I don't want to. I don't have the energy for that today. We could do that another day. Someone put in the chat, Xavier Gibson, you suck. You know that's my boy. It's my favorite Jet on the team. Is this it for him? Is he going to be on the unemployment line next year? Is he going to be coaching Woodrow Wilson high school football next year?
I don't know. I mean, he's probably on the bubble next year, depending on what the depth chart looks like. I mean, right now, if they move on from Devontae and they trade Garrett, he's the number 2 wide receiver. Or he'd be the number 1 in that scenario. So I don't know.
He's my favorite guy. I mean, I love his story. It's just he's not been good at all.
Can you get a new favorite player? I mean, Xavier Gibson being your favorite player. What are we doing?
Oh, you don't like Xavier Gibson?
He hasn't been good. I mean, I'll never forget the moment he gave us week 1 last year, but there hasn't been enough since.
It's like a real life Rudy story. Plus, he's from the hood. He's from Woodrow Wilson High School in Dallas. I couldn't believe that
I don't care.
Well, you love Ruckert because he's from Long Island, and he's just not good.
I don't love Ruckert. I like the story of Ruckert, but I'm also not going to blindly defend him like you, I guess, are trying to for Gibson.
I asked if Gibson every day was even going to make the team. I'm not saying Gibson is a great player. I'm saying he's my personal favorite player on the team. I like his story. I like where he's come from. Like that, we have a real life Rudy who's 5'6".
Would you let him babysit your children?
I haven't met him personally. I mean, he's a Texan. So if he needed a job and he said, hey, can I babysit your kid? Although guy babysitters is just kind of weird. I don't know. A guy babysitter? I don't know. I don't know. That's weird to me.
That sounds like you're kind of sexist.
I mean, I can go either way, I guess. I mean, I guess it depends.
It sounds like you only want a woman babysitter.
Kind of. Yeah, because we both know if there's a nursery that you're dropping your kid off for a couple hours, and there's a bunch of 20-year-old guys in there. We all know that when you go back to pick up your kid, that kid's going to be dead or gone. We all know that. So, like, why do we pretend like it's not true? Like, certain things are just true. Men are better at fighting, and women are better with kids. Like, can't we just acknowledge these simple truths? Like, can't we just acknowledge these things? Does that make me sexist?
I'll let the chat comment on that. I did see this from South End. Much love to the chat for the prayers. Gary, you are Rudy from the hood.
I appreciate that. I think I'm not really from the hood, though. But I'll take it either way.
Coop says Gary has bad takes no matter what.
Okay. But which bad take have I given today?
I don't know. It sounds like you not hiring a male babysitter is a little sexist.
Okay. Like, that's what I said. I can go either way. I guess it just depends on how you define sexist. Like, I'm not going to get triggered about it. Like, if you call me sexist, like, okay. You still.
Is this true from friend of Bill?
That's certainly.
Women.
Okay. Can we talk football?
Sure.
All right. As far as Vrabel said he'd be interested in the job. Can we just hire him? Can we hire him? I'm asking you. We can't hire him now, right?
No, they can't hire him because he's employed by a team. Can they, through back channels, say who's the GM you want and get it done? Please, for the love of God, don't overthink this. All right, if the guy wants the job, figure out a way to make it work, and let's stop.
I'd say so. We have to wait till the season is over to hire him, right?
Correct.
Can we hire him the day the season is over? Just figure out, get Woody on the phone, just find out what he wants. Let's negotiate a contract. But the negotiation isn't, are you the coach? The negotiation is how much to make you the coach. Right? My wife, when I started dating my wife, we dated for a couple of months. She said you have a year to propose to me, otherwise I start dating other people. I don't know if she was bluffing, but I wasn't about to call her bluff. So within I think it was 10 months, maybe 9 months, I proposed to her. When you found what you're looking for, you can stop searching. Vrabel says he'd be interested in the job. That's it. It's
Congrats on the sex.
It's like when you're a salesman. Once the person agrees that they like the product, now it's just about price, right? Like that's the only thing. You don't have to sell them anymore. Now it's just getting them to agree to the price. We have the guy's interested in the job. Now, what does he want? He's going to want a lot, but it's not going to be an unreasonable amount. Just hire him. Just get it done. Like, don't let him leave the room, right? Like, it's like when you go in to buy a car and they do everything to keep you in. Like, they bring in 10 different salesmen, the finance guy. They're not letting you leave, right? You're going to leave with that car. Do that with Vrabel. Like, what you don't need to interview anyone else if Vrabel wants the job.
Well, I mean, I get your point. They'll interview people. You got to be prepared, but he should be the first to interview the second you're allowed to interview him, you know?
And we shouldn't let him leave the room without signing the paperwork. They did it with Bowles, right? They made Bowles sign the paperwork. They interviewed Bowles and they said, you're not leaving.
Yeah, but you know what? They said, remember when Salah left? And it's like, oh, don't let him leave. Don't let him leave. He left, and then they still got him anyway. You know, just get him. I don't care how they get him. I'm with you. If they could get him immediately after the year, just do it.
Like, what if someone else, the Bears or the Cowboys, say, you know what would be a good fit for our team, Vrabel, and then they flirt with them, and he likes that deal better, and he signs with them.
So the advantage the Jets have is they also need a GM, and it seems like Mike Vrabel is going to be very selective with where he goes based on who the GM is, right? And we know that based on what Rich the media said. We know that based on what Cow Turd said.
I talked to Mike Vrabel. Mike said he said I would take the Jets job. I just don't know who the GM would be. I'd have to like the GM.
So if true, and I say if true because it's Colin Cowherd, so who knows, then figure out the GM he likes and let's go.
Come here, Deck. Come here. You want to say hi to Jake? I'm on with Jake right now. You want to say hi, Decker?
Hello.
Hi, Decker.
Hi.
You say we should hire Vrabel? The Jets should hire Vrabel?
The Jets should hire Vrabel.
I agree. Hopefully Woody Johnson is watching. Hey, Decker,
No,
are you excited? Are you excited for Christmas?
Yeah.
What do you think Santa's going to get you?
Harry Potter stuff.
Harry Potter stuff, really?
Yeah.
Have you seen all the movies?
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
The third one.
That's let's see, I used to know this. That's Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like Goblet of Fire.
Mm.
That's the fourth one.
Yeah.
I like your pajamas, Decker. I think those are pajamas.
No, it's my dress.
That was a dress? I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Looks very seasonal.
The Jets should hire Canoli. Canoli, do you know what?
I think she'd be a good coach.
Cannoli would be a better coach than Jeff Obrick and company.
Yeah.
What else is new, Decker? What's going on in your life?
Nothing much.
What year in school are you?
5th.
5th grade? Wow. What are you learning about these days in 5th grade?
He's teaching me about the Bible, and my mom is teaching me stupid math.
Stupid math. Math is pretty stupid. I agree.
Math is stupid. I hate math.
Yeah, they won't tell you this, Decker, but I'll spoil it. One day you'll have a phone and it will have a calculator on it, and your problem will be solved.
I already have a phone.
Oh, well, there you go. Anything else on your mind?
Nothing.
No.
Hmm.
Do you think your dad eats too much butter sticks?
What was that? I didn't hear what he said.
If you eat too many butter sticks.
You can't have enough butter. I guess you could.
I don't see you that much after you eat butter,
I eat
Dad.
stick of butter every day, sweetie.
I know, but I don't see you.
You don't see me eating the stick of butter?
Yeah.
I think you do.
Well, Decker, I'll tell you what. Since
What?
it's the holiday season, should I play the famous chicken and pasta song just for you?
Yes, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, just for Decker. Sing along.
Chicken doesn't go with pasta. Don't you know it's disgusting? Chicken can't go with pasta. Why? Because of the texture. Instead, go get yourself pizza at the closest Shell gas station, cause chicken don't go with pasta. I just discovered dogs are pets.
Man, the chat going in on Gary right now, speculating that Gary doesn't actually eat butter. Is that what I'm seeing here in the chat? Mario says Gary exposed, doesn't eat butter. Decker just dry snitched on Gary, says we the people. Zach Asman says Gary's a fraud. Coops, Gary's a fraud. Purple Belt Mike, Gary doesn't eat butter. I missed that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to give Gary a chance to respond to these allegations.
Gas station pizza is better than a Big Mac. Yeah, ladies, you can do what I'm
This is like the people that accuse me of wearing the same shirt every day or other stuff. This is just getting weird at this point. Would you like me to eat a stick? I did it on Bobby's show. I ate a stick of butter.
Yeah, go get a stick of butter right now, and we demand that you eat it immediately. Prove yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, can you tell the Jets are 4-11? While we wait for Gary and his butter stick, let's say hello to a guy who's on his way to work for the overnight shift.
It's time for another V-Man call. Hopefully he no sleeping. Adios mio.
You know,
Hello,
Jake,
V-Man.
hey, Jake, you know, you forgot 2 coaches on that list of guys who got fired and were successful in their second stint.
I'm sure I forgot a lot of guys. It happens very frequently.
Mike Shanahan, and of course, in our own neck of the woods, you can't forget Tom Coughlin.
Yeah, Coughlin's a great one. And Coughlin had a lot of success in his first go-around with the Jaguars.
Yeah, like I said, the notion that retreads don't work, I mean...
Yeah, if you hire Adam Gase as a retread, it won't work. But if you hire the next Andy Reid or, you know.
Yeah, like a failed head coach, and then you hire him immediately, like it's not going to work. You have a failed head coach who goes back, works himself back up as a coordinator, then gets hired. You might have a chance. But a guy who's going from failed head coach to
Bruce Arians, another good example. Yep.
Yeah, another good example. Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. But on the Vrabel stuff, like I was talking with a man on his pregame show. I think the reason why I like Vrabel is because he's crazy. And I mentioned this before, that I think when you look at the history of New York sports coaches, the ones that pan out the best are, we don't really have, you know, your stoic, cold facades, your Chuck Noll type architect. We have the loudmouth, bombastic, crazy types. Like Parcells was a character. Rex Ryan was a character. Herm had his moments of outbursts. You know? Like, the type of guys that are going to win here aren't the ones that, you know, like that we don't have those guys that are just a quiet type. Those
You got to
guys
be able to handle New York. I think you need a personality to be a football coach in this city. I think you can't be a soft-spoken guy. You got to be someone who has an alpha-like personality.
I think you got to be crazy because I think the media here is crazy. So it's like if you already understand crazy. So like when you're already crazy, you already understand how the media here is going to react and respond to you. So you're better prepared to handle it. And that's what the type of guy you need in this organization. The type of guy you need. That's why I like.
Uh-oh.
I like him also because he's.
V-Man, your internet's
And on
starting
this
to go
game,
in
by the
and
way,
out.
what happened with? All right, then. Peace. Have a happy holiday. If I don't talk to you.
What was your question? Real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah. What was any word on Olu?
Yeah,
For nothing.
not Achilles. Samiti saying it's a foot injury. They don't know the severity, but there was a thought it might have been an Achilles injury, which would be devastating.
That's good.
So it's at least not that. So that's some positive.
It's good. It's not as bad as the injury possibly could have been. So, like I said, the only bright spot is this the year we finally see a 4,000-yard passer for the first time since Martin Luther King was alive?
I'd have to check how far away Rodgers is from that, but it is possible.
I think he's 3,551 last I checked.
He could do it. We'll see. I hope he does.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm tired of the large. I'm tired of never seeing a quarterback do it.
Well, V-Man, have a good shift tonight, all right? If if you got to take anyone out, make sure you do it the right way.
All right. Bye. Peace.
Farewell.
That's the end of that V-Man call. Now he can go back to sleeping.
Imagine you show up trying to rob the place where V-Man security guards, and V-Man's there to kick your ass. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Gary to eat a butter stick live on the show. Buckle up.
That was a new
Hello,
one.
Gary.
All right. So we got the French butter.
Okay.
And then we got the block of butter. We'll eat both.
What would you recommend Bobby Midnight eats?
I don't know if flying in and out of Paris every week or once a month is in his budget, so he should just eat grass-fed butter wherever he can get it. I would recommend eating French butter, but I mean, I have a wife that travels for a living, so she can just fly to France. When we wanted salt, she flew to Israel and got salt, like a specific salt. So I mean, it's not really reasonable for most people. So any grass-fed butter would be fine.
You just dove right into it. We had to build it up a little bit.
There's nothing that is better for you than butter. Oh, it's not true. Steak. But there's very few things. Oily fish. Things like that. Nate's uncle is smart. This is not weird at all.
Boy, I put butter on just about anything. Butter makes everything better. Butter for president. Butter for mayor.
Puke from butter? I mean, if you overeat anything to excess, you can. Yeah.
Gonna eat it by the stick tonight.
And a stick and a serving of butter is gone. If more people eat butter and less people eat garbage, that's a win for me. I'm on a mission from God to make America healthy again. If you want to stand in my way, you're free to do so. But I see too many people getting sick with preventable diseases and dying prematurely from having a bad diet. So I'm on a mission from God to get America healthy, make America healthy again. I feel super frisky tonight. Look, you don't have to eat butter. What you need to eat is animal products. And if you're not getting enough fat, like Bobby is eating turkey and chicken, which is great. That's great. A lot of protein, a lot of good stuff in turkey and chicken. There's not enough fat. So you need to get your fat from somewhere. Butter is a great place to get it from. There's no carbs. You get plenty of vitamins. Eating butter is very, very good. Nets need butter to perform better. Hey, their coach. Their coach is from France. France has the best butter. The Nets are. I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't. Butter. Yeah, Gibson is 5'6", 150 pounds, and made the NFL because he got his butter. Gibson loves butter. Oh yeah, he is from Spain. Good point, Nate. Good point. I get all European countries that confused. You're right, Nate. He is from Spain. I take that. Yeah, Spain. You're right. Never mind. I didn't know. Oh, yeah, I missed that one. If the season taught us anything, it's that when the Jets suck, I learned too much about what puts into his body. Dear Lord, let us be a winner. Yeah, if you can blame the Jets for all of this, for all of it. Do you drink glass of olive? No, olives are plants. I don't drink olive oil. I eat butter and I drink water. Rob. And so did Wayne Gretzky. MJ and Gretzky both ate steak before every game. And Lionel Messi fed the entire soccer team steak before the game. So I don't think eating steak is weird either. Steak is the most nutritious thing you can eat. Then probably followed by oily fish, and then so on down the line. Lamb. Do you ever keep single butter pockets in your packet in case you get caught in the I travel with butter. I travel with butter and carnivore bars. Carnivorebar.com. Go to carnivorebar.com. Use promo code BOXING to save 10% at checkout. The nutrition of a steak, the convenience of a bar. That's .com. Promo code BOXING. 10%. Would you if we ever win the Super Bowl, can Gary go down a slip and slide grease with butter? Yeah, I will do that. I'll make that deal right now. When we win a Super Bowl, if I'm alive, I will do that, Tom Ace. Do you need to wear a diaper? You can... No, I can control. It doesn't. It hasn't changed the. All right, next question.
$10 memberships right now, Gary.
Sending people to the hole. Look, Jake, do it. If you get 10 memberships, that's $50. Just do it. But it's like a beta thing to do. It's like, I can't handle what he's saying. It's hurting my feelings. Please send them to the hole. It's a beta thing to do. It's beta behavior. Gary, have you ever had butter injections? No, I just eat it. I don't really think you should inject anything into your veins I could think of. Do you chew butter balls instead of gumballs? No, I eat butter by the stick, as you saw, and I don't chew gum. I was never really a gum chewer. Does Gary trust his own farts, or is that playing with fun? I don't understand what you think. You guys eat meat and dairy. I don't understand what you think it does to you. Right? Tom Ace, I'm pretty certain you're not a vegetarian. You eat meat, right? I don't understand. It's a beta thing to do. It is. You put him in the hole. Like, Jake, if someone gives you $50 to put me in the hole, put me in the hole. I understand. I would encourage you to do so. Or people collectively give you $50. Just do it. For the day, you're not even doing another show today. Like, what does it matter? Put me in the hole for $50. Do you drink clarified butter? No, I eat butter. But like butter in your coffee, like bullet coffee, I don't do that. I just eat butter, and I drink my coffee black. What else is part of your mission of God? It's not just the butter, right? Butter. The first thing that has to go are artificial colors, dyes, preservatives, all the stuff that's killing you quickly, not slowly. Once you get rid of that, we can start getting rid of the stuff that's killing you slowly. But first, stop eating garbage. Stop drinking vanilla Coke. That's got to stop. Like, that's not good for you. Why be beta when you eat butter? Addison, that is correct. Is this the? I don't know what Russell Crowe's diet is. I don't know what Russell Crowe's diet is, Dr. Cornelius. How about beef tallow is fantastic. Yeah, beef the carnivore bars are beef tallow. Beef tallow is great. comes from an animal. Gary, I will fight you for my Mountain Dew live wire. I used to drink a lot of Mountain Dew when I was younger. Mountain Dew's really, really bad for you, weed. Like, you're better off with weed than Mountain Dew by a mile. That's not even close. Do you put butter on the toilet bowl? No, I just eat the butter. I just eat it out of the fridge, as you saw. I like to freeze it and then just take it out of the freezer for a little bit and let it defrost a little bit so it's still really cold. That's the way to eat it.
Well, Gary, we covered a lot tonight. Thank you very much for the time.
We did. I'm happy to. Ford Broncos or Jeep Wranglers? Ford Broncos. Jeep Wranglers are for like 19-year-old chicks. Jeep Wranglers? No.
I'm going to the money.
Look, I think what we need to do right now is get the show back on track. We've been a little wild tonight, a little crazy, but I got a guy on the line right now. He doesn't call often, but when he does, he oozes Jet passion and football takes that we all universally agree on.
Hi, how are you? Bruce Hall. That's good. Oh, hi,
What's up,
Jake.
Lane?
Oh, hi, Jake. How are you?
I'm good, Lane. How are you?
Well, yeah.
By the way, Lane, I don't know if you know this. Today is roughly the 1-year anniversary of your first
Yeah.
ever call on the show.
Really? Oh, this was the day that I actually made my first debut. I wish you had it.
Hold on. I might have it for you, Lane. Let's go back 1 year ago today. The Jets had just defeated the Washington Commanders, and Lane Kerner, the Lane train himself, called in for the very first time. Let's go to Lane, who's up next. Hello, Lane.
Hey, oh, hi.
Hello, Lane.
How is everything? Yes?
You're on the air, Lane.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Lane.
Hi. So, yeah, I'm happy about the way the Jets played today. And, they moved the ball, and they did great. Look, okay. I know it was raining out. Did you see the game?
No, I didn't watch it. What happened?
Well, they won. And the other team lost.
Lane, thank you. Come on, man. It can't be a real call. Lane. Oh, it was a real call, all right. And here we are a year later, Lane. What a moment.
Wish I can say that today. Fortunately, we did not win.
No.
I mean, this whole thing, like, like you're watching a game and it was like, cold outside. I mean, the Stinky Jets can't even win. I mean, how do you feel?
Did you watch the game outside, Lane?
I watched it inside. It was too cold to watch it outside.
Were you cold watching the game, even though you were inside?
Yeah, I got like the chills just by watching it. I watch the Giants also, but the Jets also just like stunk it up 9-19. I mean, that's not you know what it is. They let them score a lot. That's why you don't. Okay, this is why you don't let somebody else score on the other team. Like it's like over and over and over again.
Now, Lane,
That's
let
how
me
I
ask you
feel.
this. I've been told by multiple people that you do a lot of great impressions of Asmaniacs who call into the show. Is this true?
Yeah.
I heard that you do an unbelievable impression of Neil, who always calls in with a cigar and he's very passionate about the Jets.
Do you want me to do it?
Oh, I'd love if you could give us a Neil impression.
Okay. Listen, I don't care if they do jack squat. They gotta focus on the ball. You have young guys, excuse me, that play the Giants and do not know how to stop the ball. I can't believe it. It's terrible. And I saw the game today, and it was all good. That was really good. See,
I love you using the pen as a cigar there. That was you even had a prop for Neil, which was great.
I don't know why he does all that though. That's terrible.
Now
That he smoked all those cigars.
I was told you do a Bobby Midnight impression as well.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. That's what C said. Oh, my nuts. Okay, let me. Hi. Yeah, I did watch the game actually yesterday. Yeah, I know. I was no because I did my show actually. Whoa, 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 whoa! I'm drunk. Whoa. Yeah, yeah. My diet's okay. Yeah, I know. I feel better now. Yeah, my third cell. Yeah. Okay. I'm done actually. I'm doing that.
Now, Lane, is it true you do an impression of me?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to
All
hear
right.
this.
All right. Get ready because I might be a little bit. Good evening. Hi, I'm Lane Kerner. No, I mean, hi, I'm Jake Asman. Um, today's game was so terrible. I can't believe why the way we played. You know, I sit here and hoping that Al Lazard does good, and he didn't even play well. I'll take the next caller soon, but before we do let me look at some of the some of the people that have joined the gifts. Yeah. Yeah, I mean yeah, I mean and you have a guy tackling, all right? And you have to move him. And I had Jeff Parsons on. Now, what do you do? I mean, you got to now we'll take the first caller, Bobby Midnight. Hi, Jake. Oh, hi, Bobby. I mean, I was watching the game. You know, they lost. Bobby, calm down. I know you're upset, okay? But you have to do better. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Ooh, Lane do but the bourbon tours. Okay, bourbon tours for any travel for the okay, that was good. Bourbon tours, any country you can do. You have to focus. Bourbontours.com of any free drinks or cheeses you could get. Bourbontours.com, custom bourbon tours at .com, and a lot more. That was good.
Lane, that was incredible. Well done. Well done, Lane. I mean, your impressions were spot on. The way you were able to get the
Let's see,
Asmaniac
sir.
beanie on that quickly, that was remarkable. How did you do that? That was like sleight of hand and the hat was on.
That was now I'm starting to. I don't know. I guess I I know about how everybody is acting now towards the Jets loss today, and could have been just a cold weather. You don't come out and not sew up on every play. Did you see when he dropped it?
Who dropped it?
Lazar.
Oh,
Alan
yeah.
Lazar. I mean, I was upset on that play because he didn't do well. I had some food actually, believe it or not.
What did you
I
have
had
for
some French
what did you have
fries
for dinner
and
today?
chicken nuggets. I had some French fries and chicken nuggets and stuff that were good.
Was that dinner or that was lunch during the game?
No, dinner.
French fries and chicken nuggets? That's excellent.
Um, And I had my coffee this morning actually. Yeah, I was watching the Bobby Midnight Show.
Very nice.
Yeah, like he had like not a lot of people on.
Well, he was trying to compete with the NFL today, which is not easy.
He's really focusing. Like he looks better actually.
He looks
I
very
know he got
skinny now.
yeah, I think he got his thing today, the mat, the running mat.
Yeah, the old running mat.
So anyway, how do you feel about week 17? Can the Jets win at least another game or is it done already?
Well, they're playing Buffalo, so I don't think they're going to win.
Why? Is it because they're better? Really?
Yeah, they're a little better.
I've noticed that I haven't had no internet problem.
It's almost like you getting a new phone has revolutionized your calls lane.
Yeah, I mean, I know I used to have a problem with the other one.
Now, Lane, let me tell you this. A lot of
Yeah.
people are speculating that you could be the #1 overall seed in the Asmaniac Madness bracket this March.
I like the jingle, actually. Yeah, I mean, it could be good.
I see. Do you think you could win the tournament? Do you think you're the best caller?
Probably. Yeah. Yes.
I like the confidence.
What was with the Jets all green? That was a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
It was probably because of Christmas. Probably that's why, but it didn't look right. Yeah. I know. Yes, I'm talking to Jake Asman. Hi. Your mom's hi too.
hello, Mrs. Lane Train.
Oh. Yeah, thank you for the hat, actually.
Of course. I'm glad you got it. Hopefully it keeps you warm. All right, Lane. I'm glad you could call on the 1-year anniversary of your first ever call.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you for taking my call.
Lane, call back more now that you have the internet working. I mean, we need more Lane Train. The people are demanding it, and we know Lane is at his best in the offseason when he starts scouting players. So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up in the chat right now to the great, the legend himself, the Lane Train.
Hi. Sorry, everybody. See you next call when we talk about sports again.
Now, that was electric, folks. Shout out to Lane. That's a 1 seed right there, folks. Good luck beating him in March. A couple super chats here. Johnny Danks did write in, Lane, my birthday's next year, but can you sing happy birthday for me, please? We don't do birthdays earlier around here, John Danks. But thanks for watching. Big fella, Jake, why doesn't LaFleur get consideration for us? I mean, if Vrabel says I want to hire Mike LaFleur to be the OC, I don't know if Mike LaFleur would want the job. Woody Johnson basically forced Robert Saleh to fire him. I don't know. Money talks. I don't see it, though. I don't know that. I mean, it's not a bad thought. I forget which caller brought that up just because Vrabel did hire his brother. So there's a connection there, obviously. Curvin, Brees needs 25 carries. The fact that he hasn't had a game yet with 20 carries, it's insane. They need a real offensive coordinator who says to Rodgers, look, we know you want to throw. You know you want to do this and that. We're running a modern offense, and Brees is going to be a big part of it, and we're going to use him and his success to protect you. They just like they have no coaching, man. Like honestly, part of me doesn't even blame Rodgers for doing what he does. The coaching staff's incompetent. We see it on a game in, game out basis. He has no faith in anyone. How could he? NYJ, this fan base needs to be in the Hall of Fame. It's the best fan base in sports. They don't deserve us at One Jets Drive, but they have us. So can they please hire a real coach? Shout out to Jorge. I missed this earlier. $20 super chat, Jorge. That's 5 raffle tickets for you. Also, show's ending soon. If you want in on the raffle, last chance to get in. We'll do some giveaways tomorrow. Jets should bench Rodgers for the rest of the year. Screw his chance of 500 touchdowns. Bench him for what? What is putting in Tyrod accomplish? Yeah. I'm beat, man. 4 hours of radio, 3 hours of this. God. I let Rodgers play the last 2 games. What are we doing? You're gonna bench him? Make this an even bigger clown show? That's not happening. Ladies and gentlemen, Jenergy's birthday is Tuesday. Happy early birthday, Jenergy. A Christmas Eve birthday. JQuest says, Jake and I literally yawned at the same time. Should I be honored or creeped out? Jenergy writes in, we need Lane to do the raffle drawing. That'd be pretty electric. M says, great job on ESPN. Thank you for listening. Today started 11 ESPN New York radio shows in 14 days from now. I'm on Tuesday through Friday, Sunday, and then Monday through Thursday, and then the following Sunday. Nick Shine writes, in the Asmaniac final should be a full show of just the 2 of them alternating calls all day. I love that. Man, I need a butter stick to get some energy, huh, Gary? That's probably a sign to end the show, though. I'm yawning like a you-know-what. And we got Beningo at 10 a.m. Anyway, here's what I'm going to do. To honor the Lane Train's 1-year anniversary of calling into this esteemed program, I'm going to play the Lane hits to wrap up tonight's show. So if you're new to the show, if you're unaware on the greatness that is the Lane Train, buckle up, baby. But first, I want to thank our 2 sponsors again, Custom Bourbon Tours and Joe DeVizio Realty for being our post-game show sponsors all season long. The info for both is in the description. I want to remind people that if you're able to, please join the Patreon. We haven't had a new Patreon member in like 2 weeks. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Get in the Discord. I will be posting bonus shows this week. You'll get discounts on all merch items. And I'm going to be doing something I think that's pretty cool for all Patreon members. The discount on all items on the merch store is going up from 15% to 20% on all items. So you save even more now on all merch items as a thank you for being loyal and supporting the show. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Join the Patreon and take advantage of all that. I'll let you guys know when that discount code is live and available for everyone out there to use. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Hang in there, Jet fans. We say this a lot, but we're all in this one together. And ladies and gentlemen, in honor of the Lane Train, I present the magic that is Lane Kerner. I think it's time to get to some calls, baby. The Lane Train is starting us off. Lane, what do you got for us?
Who do you see Michigan drafting? Oh, hi. With the 10th pick in the 2024 draft, Michigan takes the sports player from?
Well, Michigan won't draft anyone because they're a college team.
I just don't see the Jets signing Bill Belichick. His season's over. How do you feel about it?
Lane, I feel great. How about the broadcast, by the way? Robert Smith called Bruce.
Handoff in there to Bruce Hall effectively to get that first down.
I mean, the Lane Train influence in this game today, folks. It was everywhere.
So I have a bunch of good stuff to tell you. There's 2 games on today, and there's games on tomorrow. And there's a lot of stuff happening in sports right now. Like, how do you feel about it? Do you think you draft A.J. Brown, or do you draft anybody else that is willing, that's available?
Well, A.J. Brown, you'd have to trade for, so I would not draft him.
I know. Hi. How are you? Bruce Hall. That's good.
You people wanted the Lane Train, and guess what? Joining us right now is the aforementioned Lane Kerner. Hello, Lane.
Oh, hi. Hi.
Oh, God.
How are you?
Hi, Lane.
How do you feel about my new beard? Yes, I grew it overnight. How do you feel? More news. How do you feel? So there's 2 sports games on today and 2 sports games on tomorrow. How do you feel? Bruce Hall. Good, right? How do you feel about the Jets drafting a college player this year? Can they trade Robert Scala? How do you feel?
Lane, thank you for the call. Good God, man. Bruce Hall. My favorite laneism is still Elijah Moore's. He's talking about AVT. Thanks for the contribution, Gator. You guys know when the lane train calls in, this show could go anywhere, so buckle up. What's up, Lane Kerner?
Zach Wilson is not going to come back. Why don't you think he's going to sign still with the Jets? Is it because he's not good?
He stinks!
Oh, stinks? Yeah, same feeling.
The guy is terrible!
I said announce the draft picks.
Lane, I want you to announce a Jets pick. That would make my
Yeah,
life.
I mean, who am I going to pick, though, for the draft? On the 2022 draft pick, the pick goes to Knoble out of college. Then they tell you who the players are from, and their families get excited. You sign him, he should be good going into week 1. Yeah, I know a lot of the football.
That was amazing. I love you, Lane. You're the best. What a draft pick. Lane, you are a national treasure.